more things change, the more they stay the same.
All right. Welcome, everybody, to another Boxing Podcast, broadcasting to you live from the True North. It's your good friend, Mr. BDA, and I'm glad. That's right, I'm glad that everybody could be on board for this one, fellas. In this episode, we got a fantastic one for you, as we're going to be talking about, well, I don't know. What are we going to be talking about today? Oh, yeah, big mega fight coming up, right? On Saturday, 2 fights. We got Canelo Crawford, decent undercard, and on top of that, on Sunday, that's right, Sunday, we've got Inoue versus MJ Akhmadaliev to settle the score on 122 pounds. So we got a lot to cover here in this boxing episode. Before we get down to the fun, let's get the business out of the way. We're going to be taking predictions, by the way, continuing throughout the week. But of course, this is going to be the official panel's predictions. See what the panel members have to say about this fight. Very curious to hear some final predictions, although technically you can still change them by the time of fight night. Usually the day before. I'm going to tell Bucho, hey, no more predictions by Saturday. Friday is going to be the cutoff point. So before we get down to the fun, let's get the business out of the way, fellas. You know the drill. If you want to donate a couple of shekels our way, certainly welcome to do so via the Super Chat feature. We got the Buy Me a Coffee app, link in the description below. You can join the membership program. That way you get more bang for your buck. And you can check out our Patreon for free or donate as much or as little as you want. Depends on you. No obligations. But it always helps out if you can just subscribe and let us know you're supporting us there as well. But the most important thing is you continue to like, you subscribe over here, spread that BDA gospel. And let's give a big shout out to everybody here. Shout out to Chrome, Starboy, Handsome Mechanic, Double L, Baron Evola, Dr. Mofongo, Home Size, The One, SSC in the house. Shout out to SSC, one of the initiated. Alfredo Contreras, Paul, who else we've got? Campos Vasquez, Jacques Cousteau, Rafael Garza, another one of the initiated. Handsome Mechanic, Windy City says, oh boy, I'll be listening, enjoying the Crawbomb fans' ridiculous delusions. All right, well, there you go. Crawford fans, Windy City is going to be keeping an eye on you. He's going to be taking down names and checking asses. Not checking out asses, but mind you, he'll be checking them, meaning he'll put a stop to whatever it is that you're trying to do. And I think that goes for any side. That goes for any side. All right. What else we got here? Oh, yeah. So we're going to be taking down official predictions. And boy, oh boy, this is turning out to be an interesting card, to say the least. From what I can understand, things aren't selling all that well in the arena. Hasn't sold out yet. You have to assume that they're going to be lowering the prices of the unsold seats come fight night so that people snatch him up. So if you're in the Las Vegas area, hey, you might want to do that. You might want to scamper on over, see if you can snatch up any tickets. Although I suspect that no matter which day you show up, the prices aren't going to be down by that much. I mean, they're still going to remain expensive, is what I meant to say. Couple of quick things here. The whatchamacallit? Yeah, the Friday. No, excuse me, Thursday. Oh, Montreal. Osleis Iglesias ended up beating the crap out of Vladimir Shishkin. And so, as I predicted, we've got a new Cuban southpaw replacing David Morrell. And I actually kind of like Osleis Iglesias' style more than Morrell so far. Seems a little bit more active, a little bit more defensively responsible. So we'll see what happens. And if Mbili manages to pull off a victory this Saturday, that's two guys fighting out of Montreal. And that could be a big Montreal fight. Also, what was the guy's name? Oh, man, I can't believe I'm forgetting it. Hold on, let me see. It's a Mexican little guy who hurt Floyd Schofield on the zone one time. He fought on Pro Box's Friday night. If you're not watching these Friday night cards and you're a boxing fan, you got to really catch them on the replay because they're pretty good. René Tellez Giron. René Tellez Giron. He's a short little dude for his weight, or at least I don't know if he's stocky and that's why he looks shorter, but he's short. He ended up fighting Jordan White on Pro Box. I managed to catch a replay on that because I was falling asleep. Oh, actually, I watched it live on the phone. Anyway, point is, it was a good fight. Jordan White was seriously hurt throughout the fight. He seemed to have run out of gas and was fighting in spurts, but credit to him, he stood up to the challenge, made it to that limit, but ended up losing a decision. I thought it was a clear-cut win for Giron, but I think the judges had it as a split decision, believe it or not, closer than any of us saw. So, shout out to Giron. We also had Sugar Nunez defeating Pitufo Diaz by decision in a harder fight than any of us anticipated. Diaz really stood up to the challenge, and Navarrete was in attendance. I think the only guy happier for the result than Nunez was Navarrete, because so far Navarrete is the only guy who's managed to dominate and beat up Diaz. Diaz has lost to Shakur Stevenson and Dogbo, I think amongst others, but the only one who's really managed to put a beating on him and stop him was Navarrete. But Navarrete kind of looked chunky in there. He's still not taking it seriously. That's why I can't support him as much as I used to 3, 4, or 5 years ago. People are gonna say, "Oh, BDA, you're a malinche." Whatever. Listen, you don't train, you don't get any credit from Mr. BDA. What do you want from me? That's the deal. It's not that hard. It's not that complicated. Shout out to Chris K for his donation via the Buy Me a Coffee app. Shout out to Chris K for his contribution. That's Chris K, aka Undercover Asian. He says, what is he saying? Alvarez will knock down Crawford, but then Turkey will jump into the ring and lovingly hold Crawford's hand and get him back to his feet. 13-0. 13-0 Crawford via chic shenanigans. All right, there you go. Hold on. I'm gonna write that down, and we are taking down predictions, people. You better believe we're taking down predictions. It's fight week. So there you go. That's the list Bucho and I have managed to compile. What do we got here? We got Chris K. Hold on a second. Chris K says Canelo beats Crawford up. Hold on a second. But the Sheik. My goodness, I got the microphone in front of me so I can't type well. But then the Sheik bails TC out via holy holding of hands. Holy, or should it be sacred? Holy, whatever. Holy holding of hands. There you go. Shout out to Chris K for his contribution to the super chat, and I misspelled holding right there. Really appreciate it. And, I should have just written Crawford via chic shenanigans. But hey, listen, hindsight is 2020. What do you want from me? Yes, we'll be taking down predictions. I'll try to look at the chat throughout the show, see if I can pick them up. We'll also be opening up the phone lines, I believe, maybe in an hour or so. So you guys can call in and start giving us your predictions. Now, here's the schedule from the Sheik. Here's what he has to say. Hold on a second. Where is it? Okay, so here's the official schedule that we can expect for the festivities for this fight, and that is as follows. Hold on a second. You're going to have to give me a couple of seconds here. For some reason, I can't find my pages today. Shouldn't have drank so much. No, I'm kidding. Here we go. No, actually, here we go. No, we don't. There we go. So we got Canelo Crawford schedule of events free to the public. So if you're in Vegas, you can catch some of these, I suppose. September the 9th, the Grand Rivals. September the 10th is the open workouts. And who doesn't love these open workouts, right? I mean, these dudes step in there, they do a little light shadow boxing. You hear people hooting and hollering ringside. Then they hit the mitts for a round, just lightly hit them. And then they do a couple of jumping jacks and they leave. I mean, why wouldn't you show up for that? What else you got to do during the day? And then on September 11th, oof, quite an ominous date right there. September 11th is the final press conference. I think it says 6 p.m. Doors open at 5. Okay, so I think they're going to let people in there. And then they got the ceremonial weigh-in, 6 p.m. On the West Coast. Doors open at 5 at the T-Mobile Arena. And then, of course, Saturday, September 13th, big fights. Now, keep in mind, during the open workouts, there will be boxing cards, or I think preceding the open workouts. You know what? I don't even know. I'm going to have to double check. I don't know if it's before or after. There will be some low-level fights, so make sure to go check those out. I see we got people here already. Sorry, my apologies. I didn't see you guys. We've got the Guns and we got Never Sobers. Guys, thank you for being here. It is fight week. Are you starting to feel the pre-fight jitters?
That's how I'm feeling, BDA. Did you hear that?
Sorry, man. Hold on. Restart because you cut off at the beginning.
No, I just played a soundbite of Canelo, but I think you have the soundboard muted.
Yes, I do have the soundboard. Here, I'll do one for you, man. Hold on. Here's what Never Sobers wanted to play.
You're a Jew.
No, okay, excuse me. That's not the one. Hold on. Shit, where is it? Anyway. Yeah, go ahead, man. What, are you starting to feel the pre-fight jitters here?
No, bro. I'm feeling like the pre-sacrificial, butterflies, dude. You know what I'm saying? Like you get excited, you get nervous, you're not sure, what am I gonna eat, what I'm gonna wear to the grand sacrifice, the great finale of boxing.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, bro. So I won't say nervous, dude. I'm just ready for it to happen. I'm ready for, because I feel like the confidence I have in the pick is the same amount of confidence I had picking Usyk against Dubois, like both times. I just feel like he's just superior in every way. It doesn't matter what the other guy had, And when Usyk delivered the way he did, I wasn't surprised.
All right,
you know what I'm saying?
So it was going to be redundant what I was going to ask you because I think we already talked about this 2 weeks ago during one of the morning shows. But I asked you, how confident are you? And so you haven't wavered.
No, but look, I forgot something else to bring up about this fight, BDA.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm glad we're talking about it now. I'm glad there's people in the chat. This fight it means more than just Canelo fighting Crawford on Netflix, whatever, like a real fight on Netflix, a generational fight, blah blah blah. It means more than all that shit, dude. Right? So when you look at someone like Floyd Mayweather, Canelo's biggest, his rival, the people that bring up him the most when they disparage him. Mm-hmm. Oh, Floyd made it easy. Floyd, he'll never be better than Floyd. He'll never be better than Floyd. Well, let's look at that for a second. What is Floyd's biggest accomplishments in the sport? His undefeated record, which is altogether, it's impressive, but it's not nothing that no one else has done, right? There's other guys who have retired undefeated.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And so his real claim to fame, his real thing that he's never been undisputed or anything like that. His real accomplishment is that he's beaten 23 champions, 23 world champions. I don't think anyone else has done that. So that's Floyd's real record, and I guess the amount of money he's made. But Canelo's already surpassing that with his deal with Turkey. And this is something that was brought to my attention about Telkenese because I was off on the math. I thought we were like on 22 or 21, but Canelo's in fact defeated 23 world champions as well. Right, so he's right there tied with Floyd. So if he beats Crawford, that'll be champion number 24, and that'll be him surpassing the legacy of Mayweather, and I think erasing that loss. You know what I'm saying, symbolically.
So you're going down a metaphysical route here. You're saying this sort of is gonna what's the word I'm looking for here? Cleanse Canelo's past shortcomings.
Yes, it's past sins.
His past sins. All right, well, we'll call it sins then. What else was gonna? Okay, okay, I'm gonna save the official predictions for a little bit later. Let's leave people out there in suspense. Don't forget to hit the like, fellas. Hit the like. It really helps us out. Handsome Mechanic is saying Sobers is doing brujeria, black magic. Yeah, Black satanic black magic, sick shit. Um,
We're
what
we're
else?
we're hitting the tambores for the sacrifice. We're hitting the tambores for Crawford.
Who else is here? They're both gonna retire afterwards, says RG O'Brien. Double L says Sobers is gonna join Bucho in the afterlife if Canelo loses. Sobers, how invested are you in this fight? Because he's saying you're gonna end up taking it too hard.
I mean, we'll see, right?
We shall see, indeed.
Well,
All
I'll say
right.
this: I didn't start watching boxing when Canelo started fighting. So it's stupid for people to be like, "Oh, what are you gonna do if Canelo loses?" I mean, he's not the first fighter I ever watched. He wasn't my first favorite fighter, or you know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I mean? My connection to boxing was long before I ever knew who this dude was, and it'll stay there long after he retired. You know what I'm saying?
I get what you're saying. I get what you start to sound like Zab Judah for some reason. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying after every two words you're saying. You know what I'm saying? But I
You
get what
feel
you're
me?
saying.
You feel
And
me?
and we're gonna be taking down the official predictions. That's for sure. Shout out to Ed Dog. I mean, yeah, Ed Dog, because I think we used to call him E Dog, and he says no, it's Ed Dog. Cabron. But anyway, now he's saying shout out to him for his contribution with the Buy Me a Coffee app. Shout out to Ed Dog, who says Canelo by destruction, and this will finally put an end to all this hammock swinging, back foot creep. Oh, come on. Hey, listen, people out there, legally, I am obligated to read these super chats. That doesn't mean I completely agree with all of them. Let me just put up the disclaimer while I read this. So, Ed Dog says Canelo by destruction, and this will finally put an end to all these hammock swinging, back foot crip boxers. All right, shout out to Ed Dog for his contribution with the super chat. And I'm going to have to write it down here. Of course, legally, I'm binded to read it. Otherwise, I could be in a bit of a legal bind, if you know what I mean. Gonzalo, are you there? Gonzalo.
Yes, I'm here.
All right, shout out to the Gons for
Yeah.
joining us. Gons, it's fight week. Are you starting to feel the pre-fight jitters? Are you getting the jammies?
No, not too much. Yeah, I'm interested in the fight because a lot has been said, and you guys have brought it up. The things like Teddy Atlas, Breadman Edwards. Oh, I don't have enough time to explain what Crawford brings to the tables. It's like what did he say? The skills, like, yeah, he's very, very good. But they
The
can't quite point the
intangibles.
finger and break it down. The intangibles, yes, that sort of stuff. So, maybe people know something that I don't know, but from what I recall, like a few years back, Terrence Crawford wasn't like their darling. Like he wasn't like really that popular until even up until he fought Errol Spence. Most people they were on Errol Spence side. I'm not saying that he never had the skills because obviously he's double undisputed, but he is moving up from 47 to 68. Now everybody's like now he's everybody's darling. They're in love with him. He's the next Floyd. Or does this just mean that he represents a threat to Canelo's legacy to where if he beats Canelo now, it was basically the Americans over the Mexicans? And I'm not the one trying to specifically make it racial. I'm just pointing out the vibe that I get from people. Because all of a sudden they're jumping on the Terrence Crawford's bandwagon and the American boxer to be like, oh, if he defeats Canelo, we win one for the home team for the Americans. And I'm talking more obviously because the African Americans are going to be more rooting to Crawford's side, right? But it means a lot. It means a lot for the culture in the United States. This fight, yeah. So interesting fight. I think
It's a
Crawford's
paradigm shift.
power will carry because he's a solid puncher. He can retain some of the speed, but I'm not sure if the chin will carry. But I will say this: if he can get to Canelo's body early, I was rewatching the Munguia fight, and I saw some videos that somebody made. Well, a video that he got tired in the Munguia fight. I mean, we know Canelo doesn't possess the greatest stamina because he tends to get tired because he's throwing everything behind the punch. And but if you're able to get to Canelo's body early, specifically since he's okay now that he's getting older, you might see to where he doesn't have enough to close out strong. and then there's a chance for Terrence Crawford to win the fight. But I'm not picking him to win. I just don't think so. I think it'll be close, but I would say split decision Canelo.
Yeah, I've been saying that this is a 60-40 fight. There is a path to victory for Crawford. And I got to tell you, it's an interesting fight for sure. I am surprised at people who pick Canelo with so much confidence, and I'm surprised by people who pick Crawford with so much confidence. And obviously, I'm more surprised. I'm picking Canelo, and I'll tell you why when we take down the official predictions. But I'm very surprised when people go like Crawford all day, every day, and now it's shifted from Crawford's going to school Canelo to he's going to stop him. Because I mentioned 2 weeks ago, I started having a feeling based on what the Crawford's team was saying that they were going to try to push Canelo and try to exploit some of Canelo's stamina vulnerabilities, which are there, and then try to stop him. Then Bradman Edwards said that last week, and now I think Bradman's doubling down, saying, yeah, he can see Crawford stopping Canelo. So it's going to be an interesting one. I see we got Bucho jumping in. Bucho, are you there?
Yep.
Shout out to Bucho. Bucho, how do you see the fight going here? What can we expect? And by the way, are you starting to get the gym jams?
The hype, I feel the hype, absolutely.
Yes.
And I'm confident that Canelo's going to win this fight. And I think he's going to, I would say it's 90-10. There's a 10% chance that Crawford wins. If Canelo just, I don't know, man, if he's completely scared of Crawford, if he's shot. But I don't see how Crawford can win this fight, seriously. He's not a boxer like Floyd Mayweather. He's not Bivol. He doesn't have the height, the reach like that Bivol had. The physicality of Bivol. This guy's moving up in weight. He's welterweight, super welterweight, moving up to super middleweight. Crawford gets hit. Everybody lands shots on this guy, except Spence Jr., who was like that guy. I mean, he was shot. I mean, because he was shot out of a car, a few months back. But other than Spence, everybody manages to hit Crawford, even Avanesian. So Canelo's going to be able to land shots on Crawford. I don't get these people who all of a sudden make these crazy statements like, oh, he won't be able to land on Crawford. Crawford's not Floyd Mayweather.
Or even Bivol.
So or Bivol. This guy's he even landed on Bivol, right? So no, but he won't be able to land on Crawford. Like, you guys are fucking crazy. Either Canelo wins by decision, which I would be kind of disappointing in my opinion, or he's gonna stop this guy.
Yeah, I was just what's the word I'm looking for here? I was getting a little bit of the bout of pugilistic schizophrenia a week ago. Which, by the way, people aren't familiar with pugilistic schizophrenia. That's when a big fight starts to near, and you sort of start seeing things both ways. You can see both fighters winning, and now you don't know what to do or who to pick, and you start getting all tangled up. And then, of course, I broke through it through intense meditation, a bunch of old Orthodox Christian chants. Of course, it was a whole ritual that took an entire night, and I was able to snap out of it, and I went back to my original gut feeling and prediction and analysis of this fight, which is Canelo's going to win. Now, the one thing that you got to watch out for Canelo, like I said, is the stamina. There is a clear pattern in most of his fights, and specifically the last 3-4 fights, is he starts out relatively strong. By the second round, he's already firing those sledgehammers. He drops his opponents within the first 4 usually, and then he'll sort of get on start feeling, I don't know, if his arms start getting weary from all those sledgehammers. And remember, he's got substantial musculature on him. So I think the lactic acid starts to build up. And then by the 9th, 10th round, he starts stepping it up again and seals the deal. So what do you guys think? Are we to see these stamina issues from Canelo come fight night?
Well, I mean, why would he get tired? I mean, he would be landing on Crawford. And if I can see him getting tired if he's landing a bunch of shots on Crawford and Crawford's not going down. Mm-hmm. Yeah, he might get tired of that. But if Crawford's running away, then why would Canelo get fucking tired?
That's a great point, Bucho. That's a great point.
He's going to be running behind Crawford and then, I'm tired of running. Like, I was chasing this guy? No.
Mm-hmm.
Either he lands or not. Now, the reason why he got tired against these other guys is he couldn't take them out because they're fucking big.
Well, not for nothing, man. Not for nothing. But when people say, school them or whatever. And I'm thinking, look, I didn't like the fact that Canelo didn't throw more than he did in there. He was hook happy, spamming the hooks, and he only threw how much was it? 152 shots. I don't know. I've heard people say that that's because School was running and he couldn't pin him down, and nobody could have pinned down a guy who was moving that much. And let's remember, it wasn't just School moving, by the way. He would move, and then as soon as Canelo cut the ring off and had him in position for a shot, he would jump away. And if you look at how School was jumping away, he couldn't even counter off the jump. So he was in complete and total self-defense mode, not boxing defense mode. So there is something to be said about it. However, I got a question. When people say, oh, Crawford's going to handle the power just fine, I don't think the power is the be-all, end-all, but I do think it's a significant factor. The fact that Canelo has a lot of these dudes receding into a shell. And just look at this. Well, you guys can see it here in the chat or in the Discord, but I'm showing it on YouTube. Look at the size disparity between Canelo and School. Would you, let's say you had missed the fight and you didn't know anything about the fight, and I told you, hey, the guy on the right was the one running for his life. Would you believe me? But that's essentially what happened.
I have another picture I'm going to send you. Give me 2 seconds. Yeah, go ahead.
It has a lot to do. It has a lot to do with not only Canelo's power, but the opponent. It's mental, and it also has to do with the opponent knowing that if he throws at Canelo is probably going to take the shot very well because he's tough, he's strong, he's got a good chin. So they lose the they're less hopeful. They don't have the motivation to where, okay, if I hit him, I'm not gonna hurt him, but then he's also a good boxer. And then by the time he throws, he's already in position to, he's gonna get his get back. And that's usually like something that dissuades the opponent to not even try. Because Canelo's coming, he's coming, kind of like Golovkin in a lot of ways. You know, he's coming and he's gonna get his get back. So I think for Crawford, something that he would need to be very keen to like pay attention to. And I'm not saying that this is how you should fight, but at least try to steal some of the rounds where you know Canelo's taking those rounds off because of the stamina, because he's coming hard and he's probably not gonna do it consistently through the whole 12 rounds. So when it comes to a round, as you're starting to figure it out, if the both boxers boxing ability is on par to where, okay, maybe you're Crawford and you could outbox in spots and steal and win the rounds, then try. But if they're both boxing skills are on par, but Canelo's too physical, and there's no way then Crawford can easily win those rounds when Canelo's really trying to win them because he's just a little bit more complete at 68 than Crawford, or a lot more. I don't know. But if Canelo's winning and Canelo and Crawford cannot stand up to Canelo because of they both have ability, or Canelo has more abilities, but yes, he's more physical, then I would say, okay, don't even try to win the round. Just try to survive it. Try to win it to the point that maybe you can steal it with a combo, because sometimes when Mayweather fought, you know, for example, one combination can win you the round. But if you can't clearly win the round to Canelo, okay, then try to pick the rounds where Canelo's taking off to at least sweep 3 or 4 of those rounds. And by the time that they tally up the scorecards, you never know. I think American media is going to be kind of biased. Most fight, contrary to popular belief, to what Antonio Tolver said, they will give it to Crawford.
Yeah, that sounds bizarre to some. That may sound bizarre to some people, but I mean, the Sheik just over the weekend, he ended up visiting Crawford in training camp and told him, get the job done. So, I mean, I haven't seen him do likewise with Canelo, so we know who he's siding with. And people may call that excuses, blah, blah, blah. I mean, listen, there's only one guy out there that the Sheik is promoting and you know, holding hands with, and that's Terence Crawford. He's going on Twitter, posting pics of Crawford when he was a kid, saying it's been destined, it's been preordained. So, you know, think it however you want, but it's a fact. Everything else, oh, you guys are making excuses or you're afraid, blah, blah. That's all your opinion. It's a fact that the Sheik is cavorting with Crawford out there, and he's not doing so with Canelo. By the way, this is the photo that Bucho sent me here. Canelo in comparison with Berlanga, and that's the guy on the guy on the left is the guy who was pushing the guy on the right back, dropped him, dominating him, but that's not enough. The guy on the left is expected to stop the guy on the right, and if that doesn't happen, well, Canelo's shot, he's overrated, so on and so forth. That's the way a lot of people see it. That's the way a lot of people see it. Don't forget to hit the like, fellas. Hit the like. Really helps us out. Now, I have to point this out, though, before we continue. Teddy Atlas apparently just dropped his prediction video. I'm not gonna play it because I'm really not that interested anymore. I think now he knows. Oh, people are paying attention to me because of my wild takes. The guy whose opinion I do respect is Roy Jones. That's why I was surprised and somewhat miffed when he said Crawford's got 6 ways to win, Canelo only has 1. And so I'm picking the guy, he said, who has 6 ways to win. That was a couple of weeks ago, I believe 3-4 weeks ago. Now he was on Talk Sports. This is 3 days ago. Check out what he had to say. Hold on a second. This is what Roy Jones had to say.
So how do you see this one turning out?
Man, I have mixed feelings. I have mixed feelings, and emotionally, I'm very happy that the fight is happening because it's a great fight for both fighters. Initially, I thought maybe Canelo didn't have the hunger to go out there and really try to keep Bud off him or try to go at Bud, When I heard he had Jerron Enos in camp, it made me realize that he really is trying to prepare for Bud because Jerron Enos is probably the only other person.
Shit, by the way, can you guys hear what's going on? Or?
No.
Ah, shit. All right. Jeez, Luis, I just remembered, dude. Are these guys going to be able to hear what I'm playing? Hold on. Should I replay it or? No, listen, for the benefit
just tell us what he said.
Yeah. Okay. But let me continue on here then with for the people.
That can really logically and realistically fight left-handed or right-handed, which is what he's going to see from Bud. That lets me know that Canelo is taking it serious. If Canelo's taking it serious, it's going to be a much harder fight for Bud than I anticipated.
Okay, so for you guys on the Discord, they asked Jones about how he sees this Canelo-Crawford fight. He said that initially he says he was confident in Crawford, but ever since he saw Canelo sparring with Ennis, who can mimic some of the things Crawford does, it's letting him know that Canelo's taking the fight seriously, and now he's looking at it a different way, which is, again, it's weird because he went from Crawford has 6 ways to win to now Canelo is taking it seriously. So what, did he think Canelo wasn't taking it seriously before and that's why he was picking him? What happened?
Yeah, why did he pick Crawford the first time? What was he saying about that?
Well, he was saying, Crawford's got 6 ways to win, and so I'm going to pick the guy who's got 6 ways over the guy who only has 1, which is Canelo.
So it wasn't about Canelo taking it seriously or not taking it seriously.
I mean, you know what, Bucho, we've talked about this. For some reason, this whole sparring session between Canelo and Boots Ennis has people changing their picks. Robert Garcia is another guy. Months ago, he said, or anyway, I don't know how long ago it was. Canelo's not the same. Crawford's going to beat him. He's too slick, too good, too much of a high IQ. Now he's saying, even after the Ennis sparring, he goes, "Ooh, I gotta look at it different now." And Bradman too. Bradman Edwards said that he talked to an insider whose opinion he really respects, and he said that dude started changing his pick after he saw Canelo sparring with Ennis. So this sparring session, for some reason, if a sparring session or a couple of sparring sessions is enough to make you change your minds, I gotta question your initial picks in the first place, or what you based them on in the first place.
Crazy, like the sparring session changed their minds all of a sudden. So all of this shit about the dog, about the intangibles, about the high IQ, about how Crawford adapts in a fight, that's out the window now. Because Canelo sparred Boots Ennis.
I mean, I guess. I mean, I don't know. You know what I'm starting to see? I'm starting to think a lot of these dudes never really watched too many fights in the build up to it, and now they're watching them, and they're starting to rethink. It can be a sparring session. It can be, this guy's sparring fighter C, and therefore I'm giving him a better chance not to win.
I don't know where it is. I think a lot of these people are picking Crawford based on emotions. And so, but since they don't have any real arguments, they come up with all these things about the X factor. Crawford has the X factor. He has, again, the intangibles, blah, 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 blah. They don't know what to fucking say. But now that we're approaching the fight, they're starting to, the emotions they're calming down a little bit. And they're starting to see reality. And they're like, you know what? I don't want to look like a fucking idiot. I'm going to go with Canelo.
Hey, by the way, excuse me. I don't know, I think I saw Gypsy Boxing in the chat. Gypsy Boxing, if you're listening, contact me on the DM and we want to hear your opinion. If that's him, Butcha, didn't I tell you he was going to show up? He always shows up to save the day. He always shows up at the big fights when we need him the most. And I think I just saw him. I think there's a Gypsy Boxing sighting in the chat. Gypsy, if you're listening, DM me on the Discord. You know how to use it. Let's go. Okay, so
IFF in the chat says, I can imagine Crawford using movement for the first 2-3 rounds to frustrate Canelo. Yeah, of course. He's going to be moving. He's not going to be landing too much. At some point, if he wants to win the fight, he's going to have to, plant his feet. And that's when he's going to start getting hit.
well, let's talk about that. How is age going to play a factor, or will age play a factor in this fight? Canelo 35 and Crawford will be 38 a couple of weeks after the fight. Will age and inactivity for Crawford play a factor in this bout?
I think so. Unless he's superhuman, which he's not, but this is what they want. These people want to believe that all of a sudden this guy's superhuman. So if he was any other fighter, they'd be talking about how inactivity is going to play a factor, age is going to play a factor. I think we talked about Bernard Hopkins when he fought Trinidad, how they were saying he was 36 years old, I believe, and some people were saying that his legs were going to be shaking, some shit like that because he's too old. He's going to be scared of Trinidad. But, that's because it's Hopkins, it's a mortal, right? Now with Crawford, he's an immortal. He's a superhuman. And so they want to ignore all these facts. Of course it's going to affect him, especially in the second part of the fight. 38 years old, moving up 2 weight divisions, never fighting at 168. Yeah, go ahead, Gonzalo.
Yeah, but it's one of those things too, Bucho, that it's hard to tell because it kind of really comes down to the person. Because remember, Crawford hasn't been fighting a lot, maybe like once a year. You can say, oh well, if he doesn't fight often, then he will have ring rust. But at the same time, he doesn't have a lot of miles to where he's not getting a lot of wear and tear from maybe sparring or training hard all year round, which could also be like a bad thing. But for some reason, depending on the person, if he's done it the right way, he can be very well preserved at 38.
Yeah, it could be. I mean, Bucho brought up Hopkins versus Trinidad, and Hopkins preserved himself all the way up to 47, almost 48. But then again, the dynamic between that fight and this one is different because this one, Hopkins was the middleweight champion, and Trinidad, the guy who was on the rampage, he was the guy that was coming up. In this one, Canelo's the guy who's in his division. He's younger than Crawford. Crawford's older. So, but that's the other thing, though. People are saying, well, the extra weight. And I was thinking, well, wait a minute. Crawford already weighed in 163, I think, on fight night against Madrimov. I know he was a pound heavier than Madrimov. His cornerman and all that, he himself has said that it's going to be easy to fight at this weight because he's not going to necessarily have to cut as much before. And Paul Mike said it. We kept him out of 168. He should have been at 168 a long time ago. So you figure that I was thinking about, he's not going to cut that much anymore. He's just going to be at his walk-around weight. But then you've also seen that he has indeed added muscle. So
right.
No matter which way you want to cut it, he does have added mass on him. And we know that muscle weighs more than fat. So he seems to be carrying extra muscle there. So that is a big question. How much of that is going to affect him?
He's weighing more than 163 then, right now, probably.
I
Right?
would assume, yeah.
I mean, he fought Madrimov at 163 the day of the fight, but he dehydrated himself to make weight. So it was all fucking water, right? Now he put on muscle. We've seen the pictures. He's put on muscle. So he's going to be the first time that he fights with that type of body against an elite boxer. On top of that, he didn't have a tune-up fight at 168. This is his first 168 fight against Canelo. This is why these people that pick Crawford, they are hoping and wishing that Canelo is shot, that he's completely flat-footed. This is all wishful thinking. They gotta believe that, or else it starts getting very scary for them, right?
By the way, my apologies. Crawford weighed in 169.8 pounds on against Madrimov on fight night. 169.8. So how surprised would you guys be then if Crawford shows up on at the ceremonial weigh-in and they go, Terence Crawford, 168, like right on the nose. He weighs 168. Would you guys be surprised?
No, I wouldn't be surprised. I think he's going to want to do that. Go ahead, Gonzalo.
It's hard to tell, but yeah, 168, 166. Because look, Canelo doesn't even come at 68. He's sometimes weighing 166. I think Crawford's gonna step into the ring probably weighing around 170.
Yeah. I think they're banking on power. I think they want to surprise Canelo with power. I think they can do that. And they think that they can hurt Canelo.
Yeah.
He's saying, "Oh, we're not in there. I want to try and knock him out." He will try.
Well, that's the other thing
He's
I
gonna
wanted to
fail,
ask you.
obviously.
This is what I wanted to ask
At
you.
least if not, stand his ground. When Canelo throws,
Yeah.
Crawford's gonna he's gonna tighten up. He's gonna tense up his body to be able to take the punch and then throw something back, and at least make it to where 1, 2, 3 rounds have gone by, and he's gonna leave the people thinking, "Oh man, he's standing up to Canelo, and he's gonna get on his bike a little.
Yes.
Then he's gonna use a little bit of boxing. Then he's gonna try to go back to where Canelo's tired in the end. Try to try to outmuscle Canelo."
Yeah,
In
that's
the
the
end.
plan. Exactly. That's exactly the plan. They think they can switch it out. They think Canelo's very, very basic, very flat-footed, like everybody keeps saying. And so Crawford's going to be able to do what he wants, right? If he wants to exchange, he'll exchange. Then he'll get out. He'll move around. But the thing is, though, they're underestimating Canelo, and they're expecting Crawford to win in the exchanges, and he's not going to be winning in the exchanges. And Crawford will be eating feints, and he will be eating shots. His defense is not perfect. He's not Floyd
That's the
Mayweather.
thing.
Yeah.
You know what? I've heard a lot of people say this, and it's true. It's a lot of this new mystique around Crawford is the Errol Spence fight. Because now every time you bring up the fact that he struggled against Avanesian and against Gamboa and against Kavaliauskas, against Jose Benavides Jr. and the 3.5 rounds against Kell Brook and Sean Porter and Mandrimov, they go, yeah, but that's the same thing they said in the build-up to the Porter fight, Spence fight. Look at what he did to him. Yeah, but I heard Shakur Stevenson say that. He goes, somebody brought up the Kovalev win for Canelo, and he goes, well, Kovalev wasn't the same anymore. And I said, okay, I can agree with that. I don't think Kovalev was the same anymore. So by that logic, why are we overrating Terence Crawford based off his win over Spence? Because a lot of us, from what we've seen, Spence was the same guy anymore. Does it go both ways? Does it apply both ways?
We are overrating Crawford because of the way he destroyed.
It's hard to
Spence
say
Jr.
because he's still undefeated. So people are always going to say, okay, yeah, that was his best win, but he's still undefeated. Until the fighter loses, you don't really.
I mean, listen. I picked Terence Crawford to beat Spence, but I didn't expect him to destroy him that way. That was crazy. I think there was something weird with Spence. I mean, there has to be something. I mean, the guy looked completely shot.
Well,
but anyways, let's move on.
Let's talk about
Madrimov.
Let's talk about that, because I keep hearing people say that Crawford can adapt to anything. A lot of the people that are certain and 100% or 120% certain that Crawford's going to win, they keep saying Crawford can adapt to anything. And so they look at his welterweight run, which is impressive in the sense that he beat everybody out there by stoppage. But I think people ignore what preceded this stoppage. It's kind of like they did with Deontay Wilder and Tank Davis. They don't see, there's no blueprint for Crawford. Yes, there is. There's a blueprint where he's dropping a lot of rounds, particularly in the Benavides and Porter fights. And then if you go to the Madrimov fight, there it is. There's another blueprint. It's the same thing with Tito Trinidad. I heard it from the people who were picking Trinidad. He ain't never lost before. That's why he's going to walk through Hopkins. Well, guess what? There were vulnerabilities from Trinidad. None of them led to losses, but then Hopkins was able to capitalize on them. And that goes for any undefeated guy who ends up losing his record. We just saw Tank Davis. He ended up fighting Lamont Roach, could knock him out, and he was in dire trouble going into the final round in that fight. Same thing against Isaac Cruz. Although Isaac Cruz was unlucky to not get that many more rounds on the scorecards. But it's the same thing with Crawford. Crawford had a lot of difficulty in some of these fights against guys of a lesser caliber than Canelo, and he bailed himself out with his power.
Let's talk about the Benavides fight, Jose Benavides. Mm-hmm. He doesn't get any more flat-footed than Jose Benavides. Right? That guy had one leg. He got shot in one leg. He was fighting basically with one leg. Go watch that fight. How the fuck is Crawford struggling with that guy? Completely, but all of a sudden, Canelo's even more flat-footed than Jose Benavides, and he's gonna have a harder time fighting a guy that's moving up 2 weight divisions.
Well, that's the thing, though. When people say, well, if School could give him trouble with his movement, then so is Crawford. But we haven't seen Crawford move that way since 2016 when he fought Victor Postol, and not for nothing, but that fight, other than the knockdowns, which by the way, one of them shouldn't have been called a knockdown. Other than the legitimate knockdown that he scored, he didn't really do much in that fight. And let me just pull up the numbers here because I know I got them. Hold on a second. Don't forget to hit the like, fellas. Hit the like, hit the like, hit the like. Really helps us out. Really helps us out. He didn't throw that much against Postal. He threw Canelo-like numbers, and that's significant since he's a guy who was fighting in the 140-pound division. Check this out. Crawford threw 388 shots against Postal. 388. So if you look at what School did to Canelo, he fought terrified of him. But people say, well, Bud, what he's going to do is he's going to be able to implement the same game plan, but along with more scoring. And I go, School was the reason why he frustrated Canelo so much was because he was on the defense. He was on defense mode, total defense mode. Crawford's going to be able to do that, but with just slightly more punching and convincingly win the decision. I don't know. That's why I'm thinking maybe Crawford really is going to try to push Canelo back. As crazy as that may sound to some people, I think that's something they're going to try. Try to, because look, Canelo, this is what he does for the most part. This is his go-to move. Jab, jab, flicks a jab and then throws a big right hand for the most part. Other than that, he can lead with left hooks, either upstairs or downstairs, maybe jab, 1, 2, blah, blah, blah. I think what Crawford's going to look for is to try to look for those wall-ups, those sledgehammers, and try to counter to the body with uppercuts. I think that's what he's going to try to do. But if he starts doing that too often, Canelo ain't no dummy. He could time him with a shot upstairs, and that's all she wrote. You never know. By the way, we got Gypsy Boxing Style jumping in. Gypsy, are you there?
Yo, I'm here, but I'm working. I got a customer. You can hear me. I'll jump in once I'm done, man. I'm dropping all the way to Ontario, so this is going to be a long trip.
All right.
Yeah.
Why does he... It
Anyway.
says that he's muted. It says that he's muted, and yet I can still hear him. What the fuck?
I don't know. He's muted now.
No, it's my Discord is fucking up, I think. But go ahead, yeah.
Yeah, mine too. I saw him as muted. But anyways,
It's not showing up for
what
me.
we're talking about?
Crawford, what is he going to run or is he going to press Canelo the way some of us have a feeling that he might do?
He's gonna be running at some point. No, I think you're right. I think he's gonna try to surprise Canelo and stand his ground, try to walk him back. But then he's gonna feel the power, and I think he's gonna start getting a little bit gun shy, moving around a lot, trying to pick his shots, trying to wait for Canelo to come in hard, step in hard, and try to catch him. It's not gonna work. So that's why I can't see Canelo winning a decision, but I can also see him winning a stoppage.
Interesting. All right. I guess one of the questions I got here is, which outcome would shock you the most?
Crawford by stoppage.
Gons, how about you? All right.
I was watching I think it was Jojo Diaz in some fucking podcast. He said Crawford can hurt Canelo because Crawford can hit Canelo with shots that he won't be able to see.
Mm-hmm.
They always say that, right? Like the punch that hurts is the one that you don't see coming. But I'm like, nah. So he got hit by Golovkin flush. Whether you see it or not, he got hit by Golovkin. That's one of the biggest shots you can fucking take.
Mm-hmm. Well, not for nothing too, but Jermell Charlo, everyone's always talking about the acclimatization of the weight and all that. Jermell Charlo had been fighting 154 for, I think, his entire career, at least his entire undisputed run. And, even before that, some of his most significant wins came at 154. Also, he's taller than Crawford, so, he could carry the weight a little bit better than Crawford, who's listed as being 5'8" or 5'9". At 154, Charlo could crack. He ended up stopping Castaño. He ended up stopping Tony Harrison. People say, okay, Tony Harrison. A lot of people have stopped him. Okay, but he also stopped Banana Rosario with a bunch, dropped him a whole bunch of times. This dude could crack at 154. 168, he went up there against Canelo. He did land a couple of hooks. He landed a couple of hooks in between Canelo's wide sledgehammers. Didn't move him. So this whole thing of, if he catches him in between, I get, the punch that you don't see coming is the one that hurts you. Even, a split-second difference might make a difference that, he didn't see it fast enough, he's not going to be able to take it. But Canelo's renowned for his iron chin. So if he's going to get stopped, it's because he's so tired that he can't keep it up anymore. And look, there's a precedent for Crawford having done this before, and that was against Kavaliauskas. But Canelo is stronger than Kavaliauskas. He's a better counter-puncher than Kavaliauskas. That was Crawford 6 years ago. for him to try this against Canelo, it would take balls to do it. It would take balls. So we'll see what happens. Another question I have here is, who needs this win more to strengthen their legacy?
Crawford needs his. Yeah, I mean, look, everybody. A lot of people have been criticizing Crawford's resume because they say it's thin. So he needs a big victory. This is a big victory. It doesn't get any bigger than that. So he needs this more than Canelo. Canelo has already established himself as a multi-division champion. Of course, Crawford is also a multi-division champion, but Canelo has been fighting bigger guys, and he fought Golovkin. And so that's, in my opinion, it's a bigger achievement than what Crawford has done. So Crawford he's desperate for a big win.
Right.
He's doing this for the money. By the way, don't get me wrong. He's doing this for the money.
Well, it is interesting to go back and listen to those Crawford interviews where he's going, 168. That's that might be a little bit too much for me, maybe a catch weight. And he said that about 3-4 different interviews. He said the same thing in different interviews. And now all of a sudden it's become, not only has it become, I think I have a chance to win, is I'm going to run, what did he say? I'm going to be running holes all over you or on top of you or whatever he said in one of the press conferences. So it is an interesting shift. Is he trying to convince himself? Has he indeed convinced himself? I guess we'll see on Fight Night. You know what's interesting too about this is, because we got Gypsy Boxing, he's the king of making predictions only on the day of the weigh-in. And I am curious to see how each guy is going to look during the open workout. Because like I said earlier, the open workouts, there's not really much to see there. These guys show up, they do a little light shadow boxing for 1 or 2 rounds, then they hit the mitts for 1 round. Then they wave to the crowd, they do a little interview in the middle of the ring, and then they leave. And you go, okay, well, they warmed up, essentially. That's a warm-up right there. Well, what exactly? But people are going to look at that. They're going to analyze it from all angles. They're going to turn the monitor upside down, change the contrast and the brightness, and they're going to try to figure out who's going to win based off of that. So this is the hype, the type of hype that this brings. The other thing I'm interested in, though, is how is this fight going to sell? Because it is on Netflix. But from what I was listening to D-Style and Cali X, shout out to those guys, and they were talking about how they were talking to casuals or people who aren't normally interested in boxing, and they're saying that most casuals aren't really interested in this fight. And I gotta tell you, as pumped up as we are, because we're hardcore boxing fans, I don't feel that's true. I don't see any much mainstream interest in this fight. What do you guys think?
I think you're right. I mean, Crawford is not a big name. I think Canelo has somewhat transcended the sport. His name has transcended the sport, but Crawford hasn't. So I guess a lot of people don't know who Crawford is, man. I remember during one of the press conferences, they were doing the UFC style type of shit where Dana White takes questions from the crowd. And somebody from the crowd is like, oh, I'm a UFC fan and I'm interested in this fight, but I think a lot of people don't know who Crawford is. Something along those lines. And it's true, even people from the UFC world who are casual boxing fans don't really know who Crawford is.
Even with Dana White at the helm?
What do you mean?
Dana White's involved in this fight, right?
Yeah.
And so even with Dana White, a lot of these MMA guys, every MMA guy knows who Dana White is. He's human, his fucking big bald head.
Yeah,
like an egg.
But they don't know who Crawford is.
Right. I don't know.
They were saying that at the press conference. I mean, he's at the press conference for Canelo Crawford. He's like, I don't know much about Crawford, so what the fuck are you doing there? I mean, I think it was some journalist, I guess, who covers MMA, I'm assuming. But yeah, anyways, point is, Crawford's not a big name. And then when you hear that he's moving up to weight divisions, maybe a lot of people don't give him a chance. So the casuals. I mean, we've seen the people from the pundits, the experts, whatever you want to fucking call them from the boxing world, they're picking Crawford for some fucking reason. But maybe, casual boxing fans don't really give him a chance. He's moving up to weight divisions.
Well, the odds, from what I understand, are still about 2-1 for Canelo, so it's still pretty close. The insiders seem to still side with Canelo. And I got to tell you, for all the people out there that are saying that Crawford is the guy who, he's the underdog and he's the guy that really, if he wins, he's going to get all the credit, obviously, because that's what people, even though a lot, again, I look at the chat, I see a lot of people picking Crawford. And not only are they picking Crawford, they're saying he's going to school Canelo. So evidently, he's that much more superior to Canelo, even moving up from 168 to 168. Crawford is still apparently the big favorite. And if you look at what people are saying, like this, so-called experts or whatever, or prominent personalities, Rick Glacier is picking Crawford. Deontay Wilder speaking Crawford. Andrew Ward is speaking Crawford. Tim Bradley speaking Crawford. Hold on a second. Jerome Miller. By the way, this is Jerome Miller's pick. He says that he's picking Crawford because people are underestimating his strength, and also he's a little hungrier than Canelo. So,
yeah, of course.
I mean, I'm not surprised.
Andrew Ward said that Crawford doesn't know how to lose. He hasn't seen anybody break Terence Crawford's will.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he said somebody has to show me. He said somebody has to show me that they can break Crawford. I was like, what? He hasn't learned how to lose.
Crawford's will.
Yeah, but I'm not surprised that Gerald Big Baby Miller had to include hunger into his prediction. I'm surprised he didn't include Big Macs or Whoppers or anything like that, extra mayo. He always has to bring up an analogy to food or something like that.
Always hungry.
He's always hungry, of course. Jerron Ennis, I think he's speaking Crawford. I'm not sure. He said Crawford will be able to handle Canelo's size. Again, I think we got to go back to Teddy Atlas's initial prediction here. This is Teddy Atlas' prediction. I think you know where I'm leaning, he said. I'll make it even clearer when I'm leaning in there so that there isn't a lot of suspense. I ain't going against Crawford. I do think he's a special guy. I think Canelo's special too, he said. But Crawford even more so. He hasn't learned how to lose yet. Oh, there you go. That's the classic one right there. He hasn't learned how to lose. So as long as, it's not in the books. Nobody teaches you how to lose, apparently, so he doesn't know that. Alexander Usyk, he says, I like Terence. He's crazy, man. Listen, Terence is different, man. So that's his prediction. Because he feels distance and space, he said.
I don't think they watched the Madrimov fight, a lot of these people. I think they just saw the result. Right? They just saw, Crawford wins by unanimous decision. Oh, well, it must have been an easy fight, I guess. Unanimous. Oh, okay. Yeah. And then I for sure watched the destruction of Errol Spence Jr., so I know how good he is. And then he moved up in weight and won a unanimous decision against Madrimov. Oh, he's ready for Canelo. Like, you didn't watch the Madrimov fight? You didn't rewatch it. You didn't watch it 3 times. This guy Crawford, I'm telling you, this fight could have been a draw, or Madrimov could have also won the fight. He was getting tagged. And he was like, oh, no, it's because, see, the reason why he struggled against Madrimov is because Madrimov's so fucking good. He's better than what people thought. He's special, right? And then Virgil Ortiz has an easy time. Well, not easy time, but he beat Madrimov better than Crawford did. Mm-hmm. Virgil Ortiz did a better job.
Absolutely. I mean, it makes no sense what the gymnastics some of these people are saying. Is people. That's the other thing I hear, Bucho, is Crawford is going to beat Canelo because Canelo's too basic. And I'm thinking, well, but hold on. I mean, and when then they say Madrimov gave Crawford trouble because Madrimov is complicated. But then Ortiz is so-called basic ass, because he's also being called basic. He didn't need to do anything fancy to beat Madrimov. Unlike Crawford, who's supposed to be this fancy guy, Crawford had trouble with the fancy Crawford had trouble with Madrimov. Ortiz didn't really have that much trouble. So sometimes this whole thing of, he's too basic. Basic just means solid foundations, solid fundamentals. That's a good thing. Crawford, like I said, at 147, he was getting away with a lot of things because of his size, which has only been confirmed by Bomac, saying this guy should have been at 168 a long time ago. And like I said, the power. That's one of the things that's bailed him out. And again, I'm just reading some of these predictions here so you guys can see Crawford is a favorite. I'm just giving you the facts here. I'm not speaking out of school here or anything. I'm not saying anything crazy, rather. Manny Robles is speaking Crawford over Canelo. Nico Ali Walsh of the Ali dynasty says Crawford's IQ beats Canelo. Amir Khan is speaking Crawford. Joel Diaz is speaking Canelo. Duke McKenzie, who's a British former fighter, I believe, says Crawford easily. And one of the other things is he says he likes Crawford for the win because he sees Crawford's confidence in his speech. And so the more confident you sound, I mean, forget all those people we've heard who are confident and then end up losing. Now, apparently with Crawford, it's different. Hey, by the way, people are saying they can't. Butch, are you still there?
Yeah.
I'm
answering to some questions.
Yeah, people keep sending me links saying they're no longer in the council. Yeah, we're still in the council here. In the VC. Hold on, let me disconnect because for some reason it's Discord is fucking up on me. I'll be right back. Yeah, and I'm telling you, and this is only scratching the surface, by the way, fellas out there, of all the predictions from the so-called experts. Now, again, the experts aren't necessarily the ones that always set the betting lines, but you can see. Listen, if Ring TV does their whatchamacallit, they do a compilation usually on Fight Week. So I suspect it's probably going to be there tomorrow or Wednesday, where they question 20 experts. The majority of them are going to be picking Crawford. And you're going to be seeing the same things being said there that we've been hearing for the past 2-3 months. Crawford's special. He's got that IQ. It's the footwork. Canelo struggles against movers. But then people overlook Crawford's own deficiencies, especially at 168. One of the big questions that's also being asked here is, has Crawford ever has he ever faced anyone as good as Canelo? Has Crawford ever faced anyone as good as Canelo? I'd like to hear that. If anybody picks Madrimov or Spence, I'd also like to hear the justification behind that. All right, by the way, don't forget, we're going to be opening up the phone lines, so you guys get to call in and give us your predictions now, or your thoughts overall on this fight. I showed you the schedule from the Sheik. Now, the schedule as it stands here over at BDA Boxing is going to be tentatively as follows. Today, it's the official preview show where we take down the panelists' predictions. We're also going to be taking predictions via the phone lines. Then tomorrow, I think, is going to be the phone line show. So it's only going to be phone calls. You guys, it's your show. You guys get to call in and give us your thoughts on anything and everything boxing. And then on Wednesday will be the always controversial comparative analysis show. That's when we put up a screen and we find out who between Canelo and Crawford has the superior stamina, hand speed, foot speed, all that. So it's always controversial because there's always people that disagree in the chat. But that's why we do it, because that's a little bit of drama and excitement to the proceedings. Now, I'm still trying to open up Discord here. For some reason, it was screwing up on me. It wouldn't even close. So something's up here. Hold on a second. Give me 2 seconds. Like I said, don't forget to hit the like, fellas. Hit the like, hit the like, hit the like. Really helps us out. All right? What are people in the chat saying? Crom says the fighters that Canelo has faced on Bud's level, he lost to them. All right, so that's no. Bud's never fought anybody on Canelo's level. Chet Cunningham says Bud is getting stopped and it will be hilarious. So Passive says, check the picture I sent on Discord. I don't know if that's the fake So Passive. King Butcher says, my Discord is dead. Whoa, really? I think Discord is having issues all over the place then. Yep, people are saying Discord is acting up. Okay, all right. Butcher, if you can hear me, yeah, and guys on the panel, yeah, apparently Discord is acting up, so it's probably an issue that they have over there. So what I'm gonna do is, yes, I will continue to go on, and I'm actually gonna open up the phone lines right now. And I was kind of trepidatious about opening up the phone lines because I said, if we take phone calls today, is it really worth it to do just one show on phone calls? But I suspect that this fight is so big that we will be getting phone calls no matter what. In fact, I suspect we could be doing 3 phone call shows in a row and we would still get views. So we're going to take a risk. Listen, life is all about taking risks. The other day, believe it or not, I drank a Pepsi after 9 p.m. I couldn't sleep afterwards, but you know what? It's the type of life I lead. I like to lead a life of danger. Now, it's up to you guys whether you want to lead the same life and come on over here with me and ride that train. But, like I said, it's up to you. I can't force you to take that risk. All right, let's see. Hold on a second. Trying to open up the phone lines here. Yeah, I'm amazed Discord ended up screwing over. The hell's up with Discord? It's still loading up. It's amazing. All right. But by the way, yeah, Sobers and what's his name? Gypsy Boxing and Gonzalo. Sorry, I had to get out of there. But yeah, Discord, as you can see, it ain't working. By the way, somebody in the chat, let us know if you log on to Discord, see if you can stay there, because it's not working for either of us. All right.
You are connected as the host. Welcome, host. You are now in the host room and can manage.
All right. Anyway, the phone lines are open, people, so make sure to call in. I'm going to put the number here in the... There you go. Left-hand middle portion of your screen, there's a number. In fact, let me put it up in the marquee, all right? Let me put it up in the marquee here. Hold on a second. There you go. There's a number. Call in. I'm going to post it in the chat, too, in case people aren't seeing it. But there's a number. Make sure to call in, give us your predictions. And you know what? I feel bad. We haven't even scratched the surface about all the things we got to talk about, because we also have Inoue versus MJ. Inoue versus MJ, that's another big fight. If any other week, this is the fight that we would be talking about. But it just so happens to fall a day after Canelo Crawford. So it's being outshined by that. But it should be a good one. Should be a good one, that's for sure. The Dex Ivan says, what about the ring size, BDA? I don't know about the ring size. That's a good question. It could make a difference. That could be a deal breaker right there. We'll see. All right, let's go on over to the phone calls here. The phone lines, rather. Hold on a second. Make sure to call in. Keep the calls clean, please. Keep the racial epithets to an acceptable minimum. An appropriate minimum, that is. All right, let's go to 857. 857, you're on the air. 857, what's on your mind? 857, can you hear me? I can't hear 857. Let me see if everything's working here. Hold on a second. Maybe it's an issue on my end. No, I should be hearing him. 857. No, he dropped out. Oh, no, he's still there. 857, are you there? Can you hear me? No. I'm going to have to drop him. Somebody else call in. Let us know if you guys can hear us. For some, I hope the phone lines aren't screwed up either as well. Is Uma here or something? You know, that anomalous object that's flying around space heading our way? Hopefully not. Let me read a super chat here. Shout out to Rafael Garza for reestablishing his membership program. Shout out to Rafael Garza. Always appreciate his support. And he says, come on, what's he saying here? He's saying, who will chop off the hand of the thieves if the judges or referee rob Canelo? How will the lying tongue of the commentators be handled by Sharia law? Oh, that's a good question. Well, actually, over in Saudi Arabia, there's rules applied to the citizens, the rabble, if you will, but not necessarily to the elite. So I don't know. I don't know if they're really going to punish anybody for any sorts of transgressions over there. But that's a good point there, Rafael Garza. That is a good question. Thank you for reestablishing your membership program. Always good to have you on board. Shout out to Carlos. That's a second. Wow, repeating the name. Shout out to him for joining the BDA membership program. Shout out to Carlos. Glad to have you on board. And if you want to leave a message next time, make sure to do so. Let's see if I can hear the people now. 857, you're on the air. 857, can you hear me?
Yeah, can you hear me now, BDA?
I can hear you, absolutely, man. What's up?
Hey, what's going on? This is Marty McFly.
Ooh, Marty McFly. What's up, man? What's on your mind?
Not much. It's been a long time since I've called. The last time I called, I think, was right around the Charlo fight.
Uh-huh.
I got a bit of glossophobia, so it took me a while to call back here, but here we go.
What the hell is glossophobia?
So, the first, fear of public speaking.
Is that right?
That's right. I figured you would know that one with you're a vocabulary guy.
Well, I think it's a little overrated, but listen, good to hear you talking, and listen, public speaking, just picture everyone naked, all right? With like huge cocks and balls
That'll be easy to picture you naked. I do it
wait a minute. Don't make me hang up on you, all right, man? But go ahead, please.
All right, so anyways, the first thing I wanted to talk about is, I think it was like last week or something, there was a female caller that called in, and I immediately tuned her out because when I hear a shrill woman voice, I usually tune out.
Oh, come on, man.
She ended up bringing up a pretty good point. Now it's not the most hottest take at all, but I saw Canelo fight Austin Trout way back in San Antonio back in 2013 or something like that, and I also saw him walking out from a decent vantage point, and he it'd be obvious he's not a big dude, right? So the first thing is that this whole size thing that seems to be talked about is, I mean, let's be honest here, that if we took Bud and Canelo out of a training camp tomorrow, right, put them both in an office job, I feel like in a matter of a year, Canelo's physique would atrophy, and Bud would probably blow up to Bomac size for all we know. But so when it comes down to it, we know who the bigger guy is here. The only reason we can say Canelo is the quote-unquote bigger guy is because of his acclimation to the weight classes, of him moving up. He's set the standard for moving up. So for them to turn around and say, like, Bud's daring to be great and jumping up these weight classes. Look, Canelo has been doing this. I mean, Canelo, I think, turned pro in 05 or something like that. And Bud was maybe 3 years after, 07, 08 or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
So the fact of the matter is that, while lots of these guys are shrinking themselves down, Canelo has been moving up. So, I mean, yeah, he's bigger in the sense that he is acclimated to the weight class. That's really what it comes down to, is his punch resistance and his ability to get to bigger guys and over these years, craft his power. That's why, everyone says he's slow, he's stuck in the mud. Look, I don't know if you've ever been to, seen people spar before, but that's what it looks like when a small guy is having to go at bigger guys, if he's fighting them. If he's not trying to outbox them or stay on the outside, he's going to be moving deliberately and slower. But it's not like it's stuck in the mud slow. It's deliberate movements, as you've pointed out in a lot of your videos. Another thing is for Teddy Atlas to be talking about, to be saying that, like Canelo's slow. This is a man who's prided himself on his training, quote unquote, as a guy, no wasted movement, getting inside, which is what a small guy has to do, right? And you do it in small, deliberate steps. I think he uses the term, opening the gate or something like that. But that's what Canelo does, right? And for the whole, as far as the William Skull fight and stuff, look, William Skull, he was originally the mandatory, right? And he ended up, when Canelo got stripped, because he turned it down or whatever, and they wanted to unify those belts for this Crawford fight, so he had to go get that back. If this guy's not willing to fight, what is, Canelo had this fight. I mean, this fight was already in the plans when the Skull fight was happening, as we know. So why is the onus on Canelo to chase this dude around the ring, with this huge fight coming up after, when he was essentially a mandatory? I mean, this guy got to this point. You'd think that he would want to bring the fight to Canelo. If he doesn't, hey, whatever, man, we're good. You could do this, and I'll coast on with your belt, which was my belt, to this big payday, the fight that people really want to see. So that was nonsense too.
Right. Yeah, no, listen, and the other thing is, Skull, in the biggest fight of his career, it could change his career if he would have pulled out a win. Didn't even try. The onus wasn't on him. It was on Canelo, apparently. Yeah, it was on Canelo. Right. So, yeah.
Exactly. And as far as cutting off the ring, I mean, look, this cutting off the ring, and if a guy's running, I remember seeing the Lara fight. I thought that was ridiculous, but Skull made that fight look like Corrales Castillo. That was insane. I mean, he was running away. He was legitimately running away. And at some point, you have to say, look, I mean, I'm not going to jump in here and give these Bud fans or really Canelo haters a bloodbath, you know what I mean? The guy ain't trying to fight, so that's it,
Yeah.
But
well, listen,
the fact of the matter is that Canelo has been doing this for these people to turn around, and that's what they're gonna say, no matter what happens. I mean, I'm very, very confident in saying that Canelo's going to get a stoppage here. That's going to be my prediction.
Oh, wait a minute. That's what I wanted to get to. That's what I wanted to get to. Hold on, because now your prediction time. So we're going to move on here. But initially you said Canelo unanimous decision. Now you're saying Canelo stoppage?
Did I say Canelo unanimous decision?
That's what I got here on the paper.
Oh my gosh. Well, I changed my mind.
Well, it sounds like you don't have a fear of public speaking. You got a fear of keeping your predictions straight. What's going on here? Which one is it? Stoppage or decision? Now. Let's go.
No. I got Canelo stoppage. I think Yeah. So I originally thought that Bud is just going to run. That was my thing. But you brought up a good point. You know, when you were talking about Bud thinking that Bud might go, and I do think that. I think Bud's going to come out, and he's going to come out strong. Right after all these posts of him, you know, in his, you know, all oiled up and all that stuff. So you know, right. I think he's gonna come out there, and I think it's not gonna take much. I think Canelo's got a couple arm shots, and that's gonna be enough to have Bud get on his back foot. I won't say run, but he's definitely going to be evasive. And I think later into the round, I say somewhere in the early second half of the fight, maybe 7th or 8th. I think there'll be a couple knockdowns and then a stoppage, and I see it happening in the same way, similar punch, real quick, and I'll finish this up. A similar punch to the Caleb Plant, where the first punch that stunned Caleb Plant before it put him out, which was kind of like a feint to the body and then over the top left, looping left hand that's just gonna clock him and put him down. That's what I think.
Fantastic. All right, Marty, thank you for your call. Call back next time, right, man? Take it easy out there. Thanks for calling in.
All
right. Let's go. Let's go to our phone call here. Let's go to 347. 347, you're on the air. 347, what's on your mind?
Hey, what's up, man? Mr. BDA. It is NPR. How you guys doing?
Fantastic. Good to hear from you, NPR, man. What's up?
Okay, so last time I called in, actually I was sitting in on the show. I said, hey, listen, all of Bud's power, 70% of it is mid-in, right? So if you take a look at what he did against Avanesian, that was mid-in. Take a look at what he did against all his fight. All the power shots that he lands are mid-in, all of them. And they're always hooks. They're never a straight-on punch. He never gets full extension on his punches in his power. So that leaves him at a distance if he wants to hurt Canelo, stop Canelo, slow Canelo down. Because he can't stay in the pocket with Canelo. Right? We know he's not going to fight him like Triple G.
Hold on. Fool, let him finish. Let me
just respond to that real quick and I'll just shut up.
All right, go ahead.
You're missing a really important factor, and that's the fact that those fights were at 147. Those are at 147, so you can't apply that to 168. You really can't.
Right. So let me finish saying what I'm saying. Right? Let me justify what I'm saying here. Okay. So at a distance, so that leaves me with a question. I say, well, why is it that I'm making the contention that 70% of his power comes mid-in? Right. So I looked at some of the fights, especially the last one. After I saw a BDA clip, I said, let me look at the Madrimov fight where he did have to fight at a distance. Okay, and I said, well, what is he doing? Why is it that he's not generating power? He keeps his feet wide, and for the same reason. In other words, he's not developing the power because he's breaking the kinetic chain when you keep your feet that spread apart. He's like Stevenson in regards that at a distance he doesn't have power. Okay, so he can't use the straight 1-2 to stop Canelo. Besides, it's not even going to hurt him through the guard. Canelo's got an excellent high guard, right? So he's not going to get power that way either. But the reason he can't generate power is because the kinetic chain is not happening because his feet are too wide apart. And so what happened in the Madrimov fight? And I think Mr. BDA didn't talk about his feet in this, but if you look at that fight, he was able to kind of thwart Madrimov, but he really wasn't able to do damage to him. He wasn't able to put any kind of hurt on him. Okay, and that's not what you're going to need to do against Canelo. You got to stop him. You got to stop him in his tracks and then escape, and do that consistently. Well, if you don't have that kind of power, and maybe he's not going to be able to do it, and you don't have that kind of power at the full extension on your punches, then he doesn't have anything that Canelo needs to worry about. Nothing. So in order to be fair, what could Crawford do? Right? Crawford has an excellent stab jab. He could do a combination of things to thwart Canelo, but he's not going to be able to do what Bivol did. He's not a spam 1-2 guy, that like Bevo. Right? He's not that, and he's not Floyd. Right? He's not defensively Floyd.
NPR, we need an official prediction then.
I've already given it to you. Canelo by decision, and it'll be a solid decision. In other words, it'll be a good decision. If he gets robbed by a draw, we'll see, but that'll be very disappointing because Crawford is going to give a lot of ground in that fight, and they're going to have a hard time justifying giving a guy that gives up the pocket, not going to stay in the center of the ring, and is going to be backing up a lot in that fight. That's what I think. So I think 7-5-8-4 Canelo.
I just found it on the paper. Yeah, you did say 7-5-8-4. All right, NPR. Call back next time. We're going to continue doing shows during the week. So if anything else crosses your mind or anything you might have forgotten, call back. All right, man? Take it easy. Thanks for calling in.
Later, man.
Take it easy, man. Why do I keep saying after the end of the call, thank you for watching? I don't know why I'm on watch mode right now. Let's go to another phone call here. Let's go to 713. 713, you're on the air. 713, what's on your mind?
What's good, BDA? You know who it is? OD. The coast host of Black and Brown, brother. What's up, bro?
All right, OD, man. What's up?
How you been, bro? Nothing much, bro. Here right now, we're going to do some exercise, but I'm going to do a little quick call.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the fight's almost here, bro. Almost 4 days away. But what I'm seeing, or what I'm hearing, what I'm looking in every video on YouTube about the discredit that Canelo don't got a chance to beat Crawford. That's how everybody's looking at him right now, bro. I'm for real, everybody. Like, you can, like Breadman was with Ness. He was telling this, saying some foul stuff. Like, it don't make sense that Canelo sometimes, when he fought with Plant, he looked lazy. I was like, how did he look lazy, bro? How he looked lazy when he fought Plant? Like, it doesn't make no sense how he fought lazy, bro. I mean, I had Canelo 9-3 against Plant, bro. 9-3. And more, I like saying bad words, but I'm going to say that much bad words, bro, in your show. I'm going to keep it G. PG. And there's this guys like Bremen, bro, saying that type of stuff. Like saying that Plant was outboxing him, bro. Canelo was dominating that guy, bro, since the second round. I can give Plant probably like 2 or 3 rounds, bro. 2 or 3 rounds. Like, to beat Canelo, bro, you don't have to outbox him because Canelo already figured out how to beat guys who knows how to box now. You need a fighter who has a forward placement punches like Triple G or like David Benavidez. And Bebo, what he did, Bebo was using his defense, but he was using his skills and his size and going forward against Canelo. That's what people don't look. To beat Canelo, you cannot be defensively, bro. Because if you be in defensive mode, like Jamel Charlo was, it's going to be over for Crawford, bro.
Oh.
Like, I don't give Crawford a chance, BDA, to beat Canelo, bro. I'm sorry to say that. I don't give him a chance. Hey, I'm going to keep it here, bro.
Uh-huh.
What's going on, BDA? Go ahead, bro.
No, I said, what's your official prediction then? I'm curious.
Man, look, bro. Canelo needs to knock this fool out. Because I'm not Turkey out of shit, bro. He be feeling in love with Crawford, bro. How he touch him and all that stuff and everything, bro. You know, like, you got guys like Mirage with Jack Marshall. They touching each other's little feelings. Look, it's like that, bro. It's like that. Like, Canelo needs to knock this man out, bro, because I feel like they can rob Canelo. Let's say Canelo's dominating him. At least dropped him 2 or 3 times in the fight. But he needs to be on point, Canelo, bro, because the odds are against him, bro. The odds against him. You know.
So what do I'm writing down the prediction here.
Crawford can prove it. My prediction?
Yes, I gotta write it down.
Man,
so
Canelo needs to knock him out, bro. Knock him out. Probably like in this 9 or 10 round.
All right, Canelo stoppage
9 or 10 rounds.
9 or okay. That's what I like when people give specific rounds. People usually just say, "Oh, stoppage," but they don't say when. I like the fact that you gave a round. I like that. All right, well, listen, OD, we're gonna be doing like the open panel stuff and all that probably on Friday. So I suggest you jump on, man. All right.
Oh, I will. We're gonna be there in Black and Brown too, brother, on Free Smoke Friday. We always do it Friday. If you're welcome to come back to BDA, we're going to be there, bro. But,
Fantastic.
Thank you for having me here, bro. I'm going to do my routine, and thank you, my brother.
Thank you for calling in, OD. I appreciate it, man. Take it easy out there. All right, that was OD with the OG call right there. OG prediction. Let's go to another phone call here. Let's go to 574. 574, you're on the air. 574, what's on your mind?
Yo, what's up? One point I wanted to make that no one's mentioning that Canelo is 4-0 with 4 knockouts in stadium fights.
Huh?
How many times does Crawford fight in the stadium?
Well, I got to tell you, that's zero. Yeah.
Sorry, this stuff matters when someone's the favorite. Canelo is the fan favorite. How many people fit in the Allegiant Stadium?
Well, hold on. Wasn't Crawford Madrimov, wasn't what a stadium technically, or?
Wasn't that an arena?
No, this is Crawford's first fight in the stadium. It's like Canelo's like 6th.
Yeah, this is
so
the
it's
first
going to
one.
be a massive crowd.
Because when he fought Madrimov, it was an outdoor thing.
It
right?
wasn't in a stadium.
All right.
No, it wasn't in a stadium.
Anyway, so what's your prediction?
Yeah, he had.
Caller, who is this? First of all, who is this?
Oh, my name's Jose. I don't got no YouTube channel or nothing. Just a regular person, man.
All right. Now, Jose, how do you see this fight going?
I got Canelo stop making Crawford quit on the stool round 7.
Oh, makes Crawford quit.
Crawford's gonna go in there with something to prove.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Either he quits or Bo Mack tells him he's not going to come out.
So you think Bo Mack's going to keep him in the cage?
When Canelo, if he sees him way too hurt, yes, he will keep him in the cage.
Oh. And how confident are you in this pick? Because you sound pretty confident.
Sure. Canelo's going to stop him. As soon as the first time Crawford gets dropped and he hears those roaring fans, just like Billy Joe did, that's where the energy gets drained from you.
Interesting.
Just like Kirkland. Kirkland did the same thing. He came out full blast, and then Canelo caught him. He went down one, stadium went crazy. The dude didn't know what to do next.
That's a great point because people in the industry where I used to work at years ago, people used to do the same thing. They would shoot their load early and then they didn't have anything else in the back burner and the performance would fizzle. And we'd have to wait a couple of hours to reshoot. That's a good point. Yep. All right, so you're saying, what was it?
What the hell was this? What are you doing, porn?
Well, hold on, let me finish. Canelo Crawford makes Crawford quit round 7. All right, interesting, Jose. Anything else you want to say before we move on?
No, that's all, man. Thank you for your time.
Thank you for calling in, Jose. Take it easy. Thanks for watching. Call back next time, man. Take it easy out there. Hey, Fu, I gotta tell you, you sound very low, man.
What the F? Wait, I sound low now?
Well, no, now you sound okay, although I did have to boost your volume here on Discord. We were having Discord issues, fellas. I apologize for that.
See if I can adjust that, but that's weird. Check. I mean,
we got a whole bunch of phone calls here. Hey, fellas, we got a whole bunch of phone calls here, so let me go through them, and then we'll go back to the panel. All right? All right, let's go
my audio's all the way up. I don't understand.
All right, let's go to 540. 540, you on the air. 540, what's on your mind? 540, you on the air. Going once. Going twice. Let me just double check, make sure I got him on. 540, you there? No? Okay. Let's go to another phone call here. Let's go to 817. 817, you're on the air. 817, what's on your mind?
Yo, what's up? It's Shazar.
Oh, Shazar, what's up, man?
Hey, just calling in. It's been good. It's been a minute. I think Canelo's going to knock Crawford out around round 9. It's gonna be a right hand similar to the one he used to drop Charlo.
Oh, okay. 9th round stoppage.
Yeah,
Do you see?
Yeah, go ahead.
No, go ahead, man. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say Crawford's recent run is all smoke and mirrors. He fights Madrimov, who we arguably lost to. Like you said earlier, Ortiz beat him better. He fought the corpse of Spence, and I always think that Crawford would always beat Spence, but he fought the worst. This is a reoccurring thing with Crawford. He fights the worst version of fighters. He fought the worst version of Spence. He fought tiny ass Avanesian, who's already been beaten and dropped. And he's, like I said, small for the weight class, but the worst version of Avanesian. He fought Sean Porter, who's fucking awful. Dude can't box to save his life. A career journeyman. He fought the worst version of Kell Brook after he suffered 2 insanely bad orbital breaks by 2 different fighters, right? The Kavanauskas fight was really good. He did a good job in that, but he arguably got dropped. And his fight with Amir Khan, again, the worst version of Amir Khan, who later went on to be a stablemate, funny enough, like kind of coincidentally, or maybe not a coincidence. He hits him with a low blow, and it gets called a knockdown when it was a clear. It got called a low blow. Right? It should have been no contest. Fought gunshot wound survivor Benavidez, who's also on the back end of his career, and fought Jeff Horn, who robbed Canelo. And at this point, we're back at 140, where he's obviously way bigger than these dudes. He fights, I think, Ndongo before that. You know what I'm saying? It's all smoke and mirrors. It's like they keep trying to manufacture something here. I wouldn't be surprised if all these schmucks, these putzes like fucking Teddy Atlas, who always gets his prediction wrong, I wouldn't be surprised if somebody's paying them to spout this bullshit in order to get the money line better, to make the odds better for some freaking rich people to make their money. Because anybody with 2 brain cells know this is a mismatch, right? And I've said it a million times before, right? I've seen Canelo off in the distance, and he's pretty short, but he's a stout dude. He's like really fucking like a tank, right? And I met Crawford, and Crawford's also a short ass dude. He's not that tall. He's like 5'7", right? He's got long arms, big hands, kind of a small head, but he's got kind of a narrow waist, like a little body compared to Canelo. Like he's got wide shoulders, right? But Canelo's got a huge fucking midsection, and Crawford really doesn't. Like I was surprised how much bigger I was than him, right? And he's bigger than the dudes he's fighting. You know what I'm saying? Like he probably does naturally weigh around like the 168 limit. I think they say he walks around on 180, which is probably close to what Canelo's doing.
Now, when you mentioned Shazar, that's an interesting point.
That you say ridiculous.
When you say you watched him from a distance, you don't mean through binoculars and through their windows, right? Like you're not sitting on top of a tree, they're watching them.
I'm sorry?
You're not watching these guys through binoculars.
No, I saw. No, I said I saw Canelo off at a distance on one of his fights, and I met Crawford at a Ortiz fight, Ortiz McKinson. He's big, but he's not like, he doesn't look like a fucking lightweight or a welterweight, but he's I don't know, I think all the extra weight is going to be really bad for his frame, because it's just the way he's built. Like I said, he's got a real narrow waist.
Like a woman's waist is what you're saying. There you go. Shazar's calling Crawford a woman.
Good childbearing hips.
Yeah, he's built like he's built like Tom when he put on that zoot suit in the Tom and Jerry cartoon.
All right.
And so again, as far as like
it's the Brazilian butt lifting guy. I told you he's going to get that.
As far as the fight fixing goes, Canelo, people know Canelo usually has the judges on his side, right? And Canelo also makes people a shit ton of money, right? Crawford doesn't. His own promoters are on record saying how much money they've lost on this dude. So if they're going to fix the fight for anybody, it's going to be fixed in favor of Canelo, not the fucking 38-year-old boring-ass fucking old fighter who's going to retire soon. And I'm saying there's no money to be made with this guy. It doesn't make any sense. And all this turkey bias, it didn't help freaking Fury get his ass. He got his ass kicked by Usyk. It didn't help him. You know?
That's a good point. That's a sensible point right there, if I ever heard one on this show.
Yeah.
Well, listen, Shazar, man, we got to move on here, but really appreciate your call, man, and call back next time and try to join the Open Lines show on Friday, right? Take it easy out there, man.
Yeah, no problem. Y'all have a good day.
You too, man. Take it easy. All right, let's go to a phone call here. Oh, boy, they're piling up. Got to go move through them quicker. Shout out to, let's go to 917. 917, you're on the air. 917, what's your mind?
Yo, what's good, y'all? It's Brooklyn's Funds. I just want to let you know, I feel like everybody's like reading too deep into every single detail, every stat. It's gonna be a good fight. I see Canelo knocking down Crawford between 3 and 7. It's gonna be like a Triple G Canelo 2, and it's gonna be a back and forth. They're great fighters, man. Everybody, I know everybody got a team. I know everybody's gonna hate on Crawford. Everybody's gonna hate on Canelo. But I think it's going to be a good fight. Crawford's really going to come to fight. I feel like Canelo feels disrespected, so he's going to come to fight. And it's going to be a good fight. But I see Canelo winning on points. I see Canelo not stopping him, but beating him up after like the 9th. Crawford's going to keep coming out, and that's just what it's going to be. Canelo UD, that's it.
Just to clarify, you're saying Canelo is going to drop Crawford and win a decision?
Yeah.
All right, wins a unanimous. What? By the way, what did you say your name was? Brooklyn Fun?
Brooklyn's Finest. Hey, yo, definitely
Finest.
Not fun.
So I thought I heard fun, and I was gonna accuse you of stealing. I was gonna accuse you of stealing my name because that's used to be my nickname back in the day. Brooklyn's Fun. Okay, Brooklyn's Finest. All right. Listen, you know what? You gave a sensible take. Everyone's getting too swayed by the craziness, like you said, picking a team, accusing each other of, what's going to be your excuse if your guy loses, blah, blah, blah. So it was refreshing to hear a middle-of-the-road take, someone who's not taking this too seriously at the end of the day. Is just a boxing fight. So shout out to you, Brooklyn's Finest. Anything else you want to say before we move on?
That's it, man. That's it.
All right. Thank you for your call, man. Call back next time. All right. Take it easy out there. There you go. See, that's a sane take in an insane world. Let's go to another phone call here. Let's go to 419. 419, you're on the air. 419, what's on your mind?
He's a fence sitter. Crawford sucks.
Oh, yeah, what's up?
Come on. What's up, 419? What's on your mind?
Can you hear me? Raphael 32 in the house.
Oh.
Okay, first of all, with the best fighter that Crawford has fought that's on Canelo's level is Gamboa. Gamboa was in the pound for pound rankings when they fought.
Mm-hmm.
Top Rank set every fight up for Crawford to lose. After he got into the ring with Tim Bradley, and Tim Bradley, called up the manager who's dead, I can't think of his name now, and
Duncan.
said, this guy is the truth. Ever since then, he has been the fighter for everyone to lose to, but he didn't. He didn't lose to Ricky Burns. He didn't lose to Brettis Prescott. In Dongo, everybody's seen that he was going to win that fight. He didn't lose to Postal, and these guys, especially Postal was considered a monster. HBO and Top Rank hyped him up. These were no slouches. Then he beats Horn. Then, true indeed, Mean Machine did knock him down, but after he knocked him down, Crawford hunted him down. Crawford hunted him down and destroyed him. Now, people forget that Benavidez Jr. He was a boxing prodigy. He had got for permission. He was an amateur all-star. He had got permission from the Nevada State Athletic Committee to turn pro early. He turned pro at 16. Now, then he got shot. When he fought Crawford, that was his last hurrah, and he did pretty good. He got knocked out, but that was a great fight. What's his name? Benavidez Jr. touched him up, but Crawford, he's the excellent inside fighter and counter puncher. Now, move ahead to Madrimov. Madrimov was a great amateur also, and Terrence Crawford won the last 3 rounds. That's what won him the fight. And if you remember, in round 10, he hit him with a triple uppercut that I've never seen before. In order for him to win against Canelo, he is going to fight inside. They will press him. They will press him. I don't believe it's going to be a knockout. I believe Crawford is going to break him down and beat him up through the fight. If there is if he does knock
Canelo, I won't be surprised, but I do not believe it's going to be
oh my God,
a knockout. I believe it goes the distance with Canelo being beat up, Crawford fighting inside, throwing those sneaky uppercuts, and switch hitting when you're not even noticing it.
Mm-hmm.
So I got Crawford by decision.
All right. I wrote it down. Raphael 32. Thank you for your prediction and the call back next time. Try to jump on the shows next time, all right? On the open lines.
Okay, I will.
Thank you for your call, man. Take it easy. Take it easy, man. All right. We got a caller for Crawford right there. I mean, prediction for Crawford. And he seems to believe, like on the Bretman Edwards side, that Crawford's going to press him and stop him. And I heard Fu there, a couple of comments in the background, doesn't really believe it. I think you're going to have to witness it to believe it.
I was trying to do my, you ever saw The Simpsons? The kid who goes, ha ha.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, Nelson. Yeah.
I mean,
by the way,
I think that is a ridiculous prediction.
By the way, I've heard that from other people. I've heard that from other people that Gamboa was top 10 pound for pound. I don't know, maybe on ESPN, but I just checked the ESPN Ring TV rankings for 2014. Gamboa was in the top 10 pound for pound. It was Regan though. So I don't know if maybe they're confusing it or if they're seeing the ESPN list. But I know for a fact Ring TV didn't have him top 10 pound for pound. But be that as it may, we got a whole bunch of other calls here. Let's try to get through them. Let's go to 910. 910, you're on the air. 910, what's on your mind?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. 910, what's up?
Hello? Yeah. So I don't see it going to, I don't think, a lot of people think Crawford is actually going to push around Canelo. I don't see it that way. I see more going, seeing Crawford boxing his way out and then probably getting a draw at the end because Canelo's power is going to be the difference, and then Crawford's jab and his footwork is also going to be the difference. So I don't see it going to either way. I see it going to a draw, and that's how I see it.
All right. Now, who is this, by the way? What do we call you? Because I'm writing down the predictions. Caller, you still there? No. Yeah, caller. No, he hung up. Okay, I wrote down the prediction, but I don't even know who this was. Guys, if you're going to give the prediction, you got to let us know what your name is. Otherwise, it all gets lost in the ether. Let's go to another phone call here. Let's go to 402. 402, you're on the air. 402, what's on your mind?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you, man. What's up?
What's up, man? Crawford by decision all the way.
Oh, Crawford decision all
Crawford
the way.
By decision. He's Crawford's going to get in there with that lighter man skill. Sure, Canelo going to be a little stronger. He might punch a little harder. But Crawford's going to get in there with that lighter man skill. And like the previous caller said, he's going to win a decision. He's going to wear him down. He's going to sneak in a bunch of little uppercuts. He's going to work him, that footwork. Crawford's going to break him down. I think he's got one of the highest fight IQs. Crawford by decision all the way. Now, I'm going to say this. Everybody's talking like Canelo by knockout. They're saying he's going to quit on the stool. Canelo this, Canelo that. If you look at the betting odds, you would think Canelo was a minus 700 or a minus 900 favorite. Canelo's not even that much of a favorite. I think you guys should be worried if you got your money on Canelo.
Yeah, people are very, very confident on both sides. You're confident in Crawford, people are confident in Canelo, and yet the odds don't say that. By the way, what do we call you, caller? Because I'm writing down the predictions.
Showstopper.
Showstopper. All right. You want me to spice it up and say showstopper or just stopper?
Whatever you like, a little salt, a little pepper. Don't matter.
Never heard anybody. All right, so Crawford by decision via his smaller man's skills. That's what I wrote down. Anything else you want to add?
Yeah, lighter man skill, lighter man technique. Crawford by decision, baby. He's going to school him in that ring. 10 rounds to 2.
Oh, okay. I'm going to write that down. 10 rounds to 2. All right, well, listen, showstopper. Thank you for your call, and call back next time, right?
You got it.
All right, take it easy out there. Let's go to a phone call here. Let's go to 934. 934, you're on the air. 934, what's on your mind?
Yo, what's up, man? We're calling in from New York, from the Bronx.
Oh.
It's Izzy the G and it's Chavo the G. We're from the Bronx.
Gustavo the G. That's a cool ass name right there, man.
Chavo the G, yeah. So we like Crawford. We like Crawford for the decision.
Now, unanimous decision. You
He's
think he's
gonna
going to dominate?
Unanimous decision. We're gonna go unanimous.
All right.
He's gonna outbox him. He's not gonna drop him. He's not gonna drop him because Canelo is a tank. No Diddy, but Crawford got the skill. Crawford got the skill work. He got the footwork. He got the IQ. He got the accurate punches. You know what I'm saying? So, and he American. You know what I'm saying? That's how we coming. We American.
That's right. Especially
we coming strong.
It's near the September 11th anniversary, so I suspect the patriotism is going to have to be up a little bit. It's going to have to amp it up. By the way, I hear you're saying we, and I hear people in the background. Are you there with the whole outfit, with the whole posse?
No, it's just me and my bro. It's just me and Chavo the G. I'm Izzy the G. That's Chavo the G.
Hey, Chavo. So Chavo concurs with you then? Crawford by unanimous decision?
Yeah, unanimous decision, man.
All right, I can hear them there, right there. Chavo and Easy. Chavo and Easy, you guys stay on the straight and narrow, right? Because it sounds like you're up to no good. I don't know why. It sounds like you're scheming or something.
No. We just getting high. We was just watching the highlights. Now we getting high, but we know we smoking, so we don't know if we can say that on the air. You feel me? Like we don't want to disrespect your platform. You know what I'm saying?
Well, thank you.
It's about respect.
Thank you. We appreciate your call. I wrote down the decision, and hopefully we get a good fight. All right, guys, take it easy out there. Thanks for calling in.
Okay. Be safe. Okay.
Same here. Same to you. All right. We're getting some good calls. I got to tell you, people are breaking it down here. All right, let's go to another phone call. Let's go to 520. 520, you're on the air. 520. What's on your minds? On your mind? Fuck, I think multiple people here.
Oh.
Yes.
Hey, man. This is Luis from Arizona. I think I got Canelo by knockout between 6 and 10.
6th and 10th round. Whoa. Now, you think it's going to be competitive in the build-up to that, or?
Sorry, what was that? You kind of cut out.
My bad. Do you think it's going to be competitive up until the knockout?
The
fuck?
Yeah. It's hard to... I don't know, if I think about it too much, then I kind of start leaning towards Crawford by decision, but I think it's either Canelo by knockout or Crawford by decision, and I feel like it's more probable that Canelo will get him out of there.
Whoa, all right. Interesting. What do you think? It's overhand right, left hook? What's the punch that you think is going to get it done?
Sure, I don't know, man. Well, Canelo's just good at setting traps, so I feel like he'll set him up for something. Either a left hook or a big right hand.
All right. Well, I wrote it down there, Luis from Arizona. Anything else you want to add before we move on?
Yeah, I'll come back and eat crow if I'm wrong.
All right, there you go. Thank you for calling in, Luis. Take care, man. All right, that was Luis from Arizona. Let's go to a phone call. Hold on a second. We got a super chat here. Shout out to Rafael Garza for his contribution to the super chat. He says, if this caller is from the Bronx, then he needs to get me Jenny from the Bronx's phone number. I don't even know. I saw that piece of that documentary there from J-Lo where she went down supposedly to the Bronx and nobody knew who she was. I was surprised. Then again, she was talking to a bunch of old guys.
She went down a lot. That's why.
No, wait a minute. We're going to get sued here, man. We're going to get sued by the Jennifer Lopez estate. All right, let's go to our phone call here. Let's go to 669. 669, you're on the air. 669, what's on your mind?
Yo, what's up? It's Vessel from the Bronx.
Vessel from the Bronx, all right. What's up, Vessel from the Bronx?
Man, it's kind of crazy. I've been looking at the money line, looking at some of the odds. It's NFL season, betting a lot.
Mm-hmm.
So I've been looking at the Crawford-Canelo line, and man, somebody's about to make some big money, bro.
Well, why is that?
Well, look how close it is. Canelo's barely a favorite. Isn't that insane?
I mean, it's
that means right there that the brainwashing, the media has been working, because the fact is this guy's being dragged up 2 weights. He's older. He's never fought anybody important, and they still think he's going to beat Canelo. That's insane.
So what's the purpose here? What's the master plan? You tell me.
Well, I don't know, man. What is the master plan? I don't know. You can never tell with these Jews, you know.
Oh, wait a minute. I'm going to have to bleep that. But go ahead. Keep going.
Well, you have to bleep. Okay, Brazilians. These Brazilians. How about that? You can say that?
The Brazilian Macamedias. Yeah, go ahead. Yeah.
Yeah. Man. I think it's just they're just trying to get people to bet and lose their money, bro. That's what it is. It's just sadly that's what it is.
All right. So what's your prediction?
My prediction is I don't really know. I for the longest time I thought it was Crawford by robbery because man, you never know you never know what gay love does, you know? Turkey loves that boy.
Uh-huh.
You know, the power of pride is strong.
The power of the multicolored flag. Yeah, you're right, man.
Yeah, I mean, have you seen how he looks at him? Bro, I don't even look at my wife like that.
All right, so you're saying, what is it then? So you're saying there might be some hijinks, but what? In the ring, you're saying Canelo beats Crawford? Is that what you're saying?
Well, out of the rings, there's hijinks for sure. There's a lot of butt hijinks going on between Crawford and Turkey.
Wait a minute.
A lot of hiding the chorizo, if you know what I mean.
I unfortunately I know. No, but seriously, so what's your Macaulay? What's your prediction, man?
Just because I already said it once and I'm gonna stick to it, I think it's robbery. Crawford's gonna do just enough so they can rob Canelo because they don't like him because you know he's Mexican.
Uh-huh.
They hate on us brown boys, you know.
All right, so you're saying Crawford is gonna win by robbery and then he's gonna get stretched out by the Sheik. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. Yeah, he's going to get up there, and they're going to kiss, they're going to hold hands, and they're going to touch dicks right in front of everybody.
All right, that's enough out of you, Vessel. You were doing good. You started off the call well, and then you went into the Jewish master plan and the protocols of the elders of Zion, and we got to go. But thank you for your call, Vessel. Take it easy, man. Thanks for calling in. All right.
Take care, brother.
Yeah, if we're still here, man, I don't know if this channel's going to get taken down. Take it easy, man. He's going to shut the whole thing down. Let's go to our phone call here. Hey,
you finished.
We're finished. I think so, man. Don't forget to hit the like, fellas.
It's over.
Hit the like. Well, we always got a home over at Food TV.
Over.
We always got a home over at the real Food TV. Maybe you can get us a couple of guest spots over there if we get taken down. But I mean, I said maybe. Right. All right, listen. Hit the like, people.
Wait, I don't know. Wait, what'd you say? You said something.
No, I'll tell it to you later. I gotta get to I got the phone calls are stacking up. I don't even know why we opened up the phone lines today. No, I'm kidding. Listen,
too many people.
Hit the likes, people. Hit the likes. Really helps us out. Let's go to another phone call. Let's go to 315. 315. You're on the air. 315. What's on your mind?
Hey, what's up, fellas? They call me CNY Trash or Upstate New York Trash. I just recently wrapped on meth about an hour ago. I was a year and a half clean, and now high as shit. Loving the show. My prediction is that the fight's going to be a B+, A- tops, and both guys are going to retire afterwards.
Whoa.
And the fight's going to be good, but not great. And then Canelo's probably going to run for Mexican president within the next 5 years. I also predict that the Epstein list is never coming out.
Oh.
And this is a big payday for everybody.
Well, hold on. Technically, is there such a thing as an Epstein list, or just essentially a bunch of names, but not a list per se?
Look, man, we all know satanic pedophiles run the world. It's about time we all come together, but that's a different topic for a different day.
That's what you're finished.
I'm high on meth right now. So
well, we don't all know that, by the way.
I got to say.
It's, you know what people would say? That sounds like an anti-Semitic trope. That's what I keep hearing people say. So we got to be careful with it.
It's got nothing to do with JEWs, bro. I'm talking about these Satanists, dog. And, you know, it's, again, topic for a different day. We're talking about boxing, but I'm high. Don't listen to me.
Hey, I thought you said you were, hold on. I thought you said you were clean.
What the hell?
I was clean for a year and a half up until like an hour ago.
All right. All right. So CNY giving us a good call here. He's making us think. He's opening up our third eye. Meanwhile, Crawford's brown eye is getting opened up by the Sheik. So CNY Trash. Just remind me, what was your official prediction then?
My official prediction, I guess, is Canelo by split decision, and I don't think the fight's going to be that great. But, last question. Where's everybody placing their bets at? Because I'm definitely betting on this.
No. Hold on. You just broke. What's it called? The recidivism. What's that called when you go back to You're broke, in other words. You went back to the devil's weed, and now you're gonna start getting into betting as well. No, sorry, Bob. We're not gonna answer that question. We're not gonna aid. We're not gonna enable you. All right.
Drugs, betting.
All right. Well, I appreciate love, brothers. You're right. I need to calm my addictions down. But anyway, you guys doing great. Talk to you later. Peace.
Thank you. Take it easy there, CNY. Thanks for calling in.
He's sick of you telling him what to do.
Well, listen, someone's got to, right? Someone's got to.
He got out of here quick as soon as you started questioning him and say,
well, listen,
fucking out.
Who's better equipped at telling people what to do than me, Mr. BDA, the guy who knows best? All right, listen.
Yeah.
I didn't want to call their full name, CNY Trash. I mean, come on, just CNY. He's demeaning himself.
Why not just trash?
Come on, fool, man, you're the fucking worst, man. I got a good mind to kick you out.
What the?
Let's go to another phone call here. Let's go to 951. 951, you're on the air. 951. What's on your mind? It's not even working. What the hell?
What's up, Big Bucho? This is Emiliano Villa.
Emiliano, this is BDA. But what's up, Emiliano?
Just a little shout out to Mandingo, Kryptonite, the Cinnamon Assassin, the Mexican Red Dawn. I just seen Shakur Stevenson run from Oscar Valdez, and they gave him the fight for running. And this is what I was talking about, is these black fighters running and still winning. This is nonsense. What Mexicanos got to do, stop chasing them. Go to the middle of the ring and then tell them to get over here. Put a line on the sand and tell them to get to the middle of the ring and stop running. Oscar Valdez ran into his gloves all night long, and that's how he lost the fight. Other than that, he was chasing Shakur down. So this is what I'm trying to say, is that you hear all these people talking about Bud and what I've never seen him set nobody up. I've seen Cinnamon set up Amir Khan for a massive knockout for the fame. I've seen Canelo set up Mandingo Warrior for the massive knockout. And these are scientific. This is called the sweet science. Is when you see Canelo moving around, when you see him setting people up, when you see him drawing them in and then delivering an uppercut and dropping them to his knees. That's a boxer. That's the sweet science. That's what we're going to see Saturday, the 13th. You see, Mexico's having their celebration on the 16th, and Canelo's bringing his sacrifice. He's bringing the blood. He's bringing the body. And that body's name is Bud Crawford.
Well, that's an interesting take right there, Emiliano. We already got your prediction, by the way. You said, hold on a second, where is it? You said Canelo in the 4th round, right?
On the 4th, brother. He's not, and this is the thing that scares me, is Turkey got a lot of money. And money talks no matter what. But Canelo's unbuyable. You're not going to buy this man. You're not going to corrupt this man. He's about the legacy. He's about pride. He's about Mexicanismo. And he's not going to drop for nobody by any means. So we're going to see the Mexican massacre on Saturday night. We're going to see that. That's not even a problem. The thing is if Turkey throws money, and we're talking big money at the Cinnamon, and he says, just don't knock this boy out. Just don't knock this boy out and let the refs and let the judges take care of everything else. That's all you got to do, and then here's your envelope, right? That's the only way we're going to see another fight. But it's going to be a lot of money, right? I hope he doesn't do it. The Cinnamon, he got the money, and I don't think I'm going to see it. If Turkey doesn't give him his calzones, if Turkey doesn't give him his bottom drawer full of money, then we're going to see a knockout on the 4th round or before. And we're talking massive. We're not, people talk about Bud Crawford's pencil neck. Brother, when he takes a hit from the Cinnamon, this is what's wrong with these boxers that come up and they didn't create no pedigree, right? You can't tell me who Crawford has fought. You can't say, hey, well, tell me the champ that he knocked out. Tell me the Kovalev who knocked out Andrew Ward, and now Andrew Ward is talking against Canelo?
Andrew Ward.
Who's Andrew Ward? I didn't even know his name.
I mean, hey, listen, Emiliano, you bring up some energetic points. I gotta tell you, I don't have the energy to go against him. That's for sure. We do have to move on, though. We got a lot of callers here. We got a lot of callers, so we got your prediction down.
I appreciate you, brother.
Thank you. We're gonna keep taking more calls
I
during
appreciate
the
you,
week.
brother.
Oh, we appreciate you, man. Thank you for your call.
Keep
Take
it
easy.
going. Keep it going.
Thank you, man. Thank you.
Okay.
All right, that was Emiliano bringing the energy. Let's go to another phone call here. Let's go to 323. 323, you're on the air. 323, what's on your mind?
Yo. Shout out, BDA. Hey, man, this is Benjamin from Los Angeles. I'm calling in, bro, because I just been seeing a lot of disrespect to Canelo, man. All over the media, man. I think it's a bunch of bullshit, honestly, man.
Oh.
I think people expect to see the Canelo that showed up for the school fight. You know, he I was on Ness's show earlier talking about this. I think a lot of the reason why Canelo looked like that is because he fought like at 5, 6 in the morning, man, in Saudi Arabia. You know what I mean? And I think he didn't have the same motivation to fight Skull like he does Crawford. You know what I mean? You could even see it in his body, man. You could see Canelo looking way thinner than he did. At least to me. To me, he looks thin now. Comparison to the Skull fight, he looked a little pudgy. You know, he has a little, like, you know what I mean? But I think Canelo should beat him. I mean, it's his division. You know what I mean? He's coming up in weight, so I think Canelo gets a couple of, or maybe a flash knockdown or something, and he wins by decision. What do you think, BDA?
Well, you tell me, man. Unanimous decision, split decision?
I think unanimous decision.
Unanimous decision.
I do kind of get worried because I see Turkey. Yeah, I think I kind of get worried because I see Turkey right there, you know, telling Crawford to finish the job, and you know, I do kind of get worried with that. But you know, I don't know, man. I think Canelo, he should win pretty easily, I think.
All right, Benjamin.
What do you think? In the Skull fight, do you think that fighting early up in the morning, you think that had any type of any impact on the fight?
Well, I mean, Canelo did recently say that on a CNN Espanol interview. He said that fighting at night, he wasn't accustomed to it. But then again, neither was Skull. Skull wasn't accustomed to fighting at 3 in the morning either. So it was an even fight, at least. If he fought affected. Yeah. So I don't know,
think
man.
He fought like crap too, you know.
Yeah, he definitely fought like I mean, he should be banned from fighting on television ever again until he makes up for it. He should engage in at least 5 wars, 5 back-to-back rock and sock and robot type of wars before he's even thought of even giving the consideration of being allowed back on network television or any type. So that's my take on it. But Benjamin, I got your prediction down. Make sure to call back next time, all right, man?
Yep. All right, man. Be there. Yeah, shout out, man. Bye.
Take it easy, man. Thank you for calling in. Let's go to a phone call here. Let's go to 773. 773, you're on the air. 773, what's on your mind?
Hey, what's up, BDA community? This is Joey from Chicago calling in. Just getting my prediction in, man. I think Canelo got this. I mean, it's do or die for him now, actually, I think, right? Like, and this sets foot to what is next for, you know, Canelo. I mean, on the side, too, I think Crawford, he has some unfinished business he got to handle, too, right after Canelo, right? But my prediction is Canelo by TKO, I say 10th round.
Oh, 10th round, all right. Do you see it being competitive before the knockdown, the stoppage?
I think it is. You know what? I think it's probably going to be like an Amir Khan type of fight, you know, versus Canelo, you know. It's, you know, he's going to be touching him up. Bud is going to be touching him up.
Whoa.
And then boom, here comes the boom, you know. So
he's going to touch him.
That's probably going to, you know.
So he's going to touch him. There's going to be a buildup of pressure. You're saying he's going to touch him. There's going to be a buildup of pressure, and then boom. Is that what you're saying? That's what you said, right?
I think so. Yep.
All right. There you go, guys.
Yep.
That's what he said.
That's what I'm going for.
All right. Well, listen, Joey from Chicago. By the way, how's the weather in Chicago down there right now?
Man, it's chilly, man. It's chilly, but, you know, this is nothing for us, you know.
There you go. All right. Well, listen, Joey, I got your prediction. And if you want us to call back during the week, you're welcome to do so. We also got open lines on Discord, so make sure to check that out. All right, man? Thank you for your call. Take it easy out there.
Yes, sir. Saludos, raza. Saludos a todos. Vamos.
Órale. By the way, when he said Joey, Chicago, for some reason I thought Joey like an Italian guy. Hey, Joey. Oh, Joey, what's up? But he's apparently he's a Chicano. All right, listen, let's go on our phone call here. Let's go to 708. 708, you're on the air. 708. What's on your mind?
Hey. It's Bobby, also from Chicago. And by Chicago, I mean 40 minutes south of the city in the suburbs. But still,
right.
It's funny you mentioned Joey being an Italian name. My name's Bobby, and I'm an Italian guy.
Oh, well, listen, it's all coming together, man. What's up?
Yeah, right. Hey, first things first, just want to say huge fan of the show and everything.
Oh, thank you.
I was in on Friday now when you guys had the Discord call. Huge fan of everything you guys got here. And as far as my prediction,
mm-hmm.
I think this is going to be a really close fight. I've gone back and forth whether I'm leaning towards Canelo, whether I'm leaning towards Crawford, and personally, I think I'm going to lean Crawford by decision, but I also can see it being a split decision.
Interesting. All right.
Yeah. I can just because my thing is, for one, I don't think Crawford's going to knock out Canelo. I think we can take that totally out of the way. I mean, listen, Canelo was hit with bombs from Triple G, from Bivol, and stuff like that, and it ate him and kept going. There is nothing Crawford's going to throw that's going to really stun Canelo. Let's just be honest here.
Mm-hmm.
And I think man, I don't know. It's tough, but. I'm leaning more towards Crawford by decision. I think that's the way it's going to go, and then I'm leaning more towards unanimous decision.
All right. So wait a minute. So you're saying, okay, so Crawford by unanimous decision. Is that what I heard you say?
Yeah, that's going to be my prediction.
Right. But you're saying it could go either way then? Because you said it was going to be a close fight.
No. Sorry. I meant could go either way between unanimous decision or split decision. I think it's going to be a really, really competitive fight.
Okay, but not to the extent that it could go either way.
No. Not to the extent that it could go either way. I meant like in the build up and all. I was I was kind of leaning towards Canelo in the beginning. Then I started leaning more towards Crawford.
Mm-hmm,
I think Crawford's a really, really, really smart fighter, and I think we've been seeing him get better and better and better as the fights went on. With the hiccup in the way of the Madrimov fight, and I think in a lot of Canelo's recent fights and all, he's looked great, but I think he's been slowing down. He's been fighting guys who really aren't on his level, like Skull's not on his level, Benigua's not on his level, Berlanga's not on his level, Charlo's not on his level, and I think we've kind of seen him take some easier fights, take some voluntary defenses and all that. And I think, the guy's had a long career, and he's had a lot of wars, and I don't know if that's really going to hold up when you got a guy who's fresher, who's hungrier, who's coming up a couple weight classes. And I think that couple weight class jump is the only thing that no, I said that wrong. But I don't know. I'm thinking I'm thinking Crawford by decision.
All right. Well, I got your prediction there, and the reason why I asked you is because I had to clarify, because I don't want to get anything wrong. So I got you down for Crawford by competitive, but unanimous decision. All right, listen, man, we got to go there, but
yes.
Thank you for your call, Pappy from Chicago.
Thank you so much. Shout out to the channel. You guys are the best.
Thank you, man. Take it easy, man. Thanks for calling in. I hesitate to call somebody Pappy, but that's his name. Legally, I have to, according to the YouTube thing here, I gotta call people by their names, by their given names. So shout out to everybody. Don't forget to hit the like. Really helps us out. Let's go to our phone call here. Let's go to 210. 210, you're on the air. 210. What's on your mind?
Hello?
Yes, 210, you're on the air, man.
Okay, hey, thanks for having me on. And my pick is going to be Canelo by knockout.
Oh. You want to elaborate?
Okay, well, the reason why I personally think that Canelo will win by knockout is when I look at how Canelo's been fighting his last two southpaws with Billy and John Ryder. One thing I noticed that Canelo does a lot that I haven't seen any Terrence Crawford opponent do to him is that check left hook that he does to the body when he's inching his way forward.
Mm-hmm.
So I see that Canelo implements a lot of pressure, and also defensively, a lot of people will say, "Oh, well, Crawford's gonna mark Canelo up. He's gonna hurt Canelo." But the one thing that I disagree with on that portion is that Crawford, he's going to have to throw a lot of punches in order to get one clean in. The reason why I say that is because I've seen some people say that Crawford's going to mark Canelo up, but also that he's going to do him like Bivol. And if you look at the Bivol fight, Bivol actually threw a lot more punches than he usually does in order to keep Canelo on the outside. And the reason why Bivol had to throw a lot of punches is because if you look at that exchange in round 5 where Bivol had Canelo on the ropes, he had to throw like 9 or 10 punches, and only 2 or 3 of those actually got in and landed flush. So I look at the Crawford game plan that a lot of people think that he's going to implement, and there's just a lot of things that have to work right for Crawford in order for him to win. And I try to be logical, and I look at the experience that Canelo has at the weight, but also him walking down bigger guys and also taking punches from guys who rehydrate and who are natural 168s. And Crawford, unfortunately, doesn't have a 168 frame and isn't acclimated to it. So I just think Canelo's going to stop him late. I think Crawford will have his moments within the middle of the fight, but Canelo will win the early rounds just off activity. Then Crawford's going to start throwing, get comfortable, and then that's when Canelo will counter him and knock him out by either a counter right upstairs or a counter left hook to the body.
Well, there you go, man. That's a very detailed prediction right there. What do we call you so I can write it down on the prediction here?
Seth, from the United States, my brother.
Seth or Set, like the
Don't
Egyptian
want to take up
deity?
too much. Seth, S as in super, E as in eat, T as in the, and H as in howdy doody.
Okay, Seth. Yes, Seth. I thought you said Set, like the Egyptian deity, but you were kind of scaring me a little bit. All right, well, listen, Seth, thank you for your call.
That's some weird stuff.
Yeah, I know you said it. Thank you for your call.
Appreciate your time. Don't want to take up too much.
All righty, take it easy, man.
All right.
There goes the Egyptian deity right there. Like he was making it out to be as if I made it up, but he's the one that said Set. All right, let's go on our phone call here. Let's go to 678. 678, you're on the air. 678, what's on your mind?
There we go. Hey, what's going on, y'all? So it's Kavon from Texas.
Gavon?
Yep. K-A-V-O-N. Yep.
Gavon. All right, that's shout out to Gavon, man. Shout out to Texas. What's up, man? What's on your mind?
For sure. I appreciate it, man. So look, bro, I'm gonna tell everybody right now on the line. Just Google how Callum Smith's bicep looked after he fought Canelo, man. That's all you got to do. You know what I mean? That's all you got to do, and that'll tell you everything else you need to know, man. You know what I mean? I almost think it's damn near disrespectful to Canelo for them to really think that Bud is about to beat him. My second point, man, is that I feel like the last fight that the way that Terrence Crawford beat up Errol Spence, it made people think that he could go up to super middleweight and do all this shit, man. You know what I mean? Because that fight 2 years ago, right? It was what was it, August 2023. I still remember it, y'all. And the way that I remember the bet odds on it were about half and half. But the way that Terrence beat the crap out of Earl like that, it really made people believe that he could go up and do this. You know what I mean? So that's just my take on it, man. I definitely got Canelo by UD, man. I'm sorry. Canelo beat up Kovalev. He survived Bivol. Bivol, he lost to Bivol, but, he still didn't get beat up by Bivol. You know what I mean? So, yeah, I got to go with Canelo, man, by unanimous decision.
All right. Gavon, I just wrote down your prediction, and you can still change your prediction prior to Saturday. So if you feel the need to call back during the next shows, make sure to do that, all right?
For sure.
All righty. Thank you for your call.
For sure. All right, brother. I love the show, man. Keep it up.
Thank you. Thank you. Appreciate that. Take it easy. All right. That was Gavon from Texas. Let's go to another phone call. Let's go to 973. 973, you're on the air. 973, what's up?
Hey,
97.
how's it going?
I can barely hear you, caller.
Hey, can you hear me?
I can barely hear you. If you're on the Bluetooth, please stay off of it. Otherwise, we're gonna have a hard time hearing you.
Okay, how about now?
Perfect. Much better. What's up?
Okay, so, I mean, I'm looking at this fight, and honestly, I'm not, if you want to go about it really, really primally, I just don't think Canelo is more of a man than Crawford. Okay, that's first off.
Uh-huh.
All right, second off, you have to ask yourself this question, okay?
Sure.
What does Canelo do better than Bud? And you answer that question you just answer it in your mind. What does Canelo do better than Bud in the ring? And
So
that right there makes you think to yourself, okay, yeah, I mean, just think about that. And then, so it's the punches you don't see that do the damage, right? See what Bud's doing. He's not as strong as Canelo. They're all saying, he's not going to be able to hold up to his power. Well, see, I take the Spence fight as a good example only because it illustrates, the scenario in which when Bud landed on this guy, he wasn't even landing with super powerful shots when he looked at it, but they were timed. And the shots, Spence didn't even realize he was getting hit by him. They were instant. That one uppercut when he bounced off the rope and countered and hit Spence between his shot when he was trying to get to him, it floored him. And it was small, quick, and timed. And honestly, I don't think Canelo is surgical enough to avoid that type of precision from Bud. And I just think he's going to slowly be taken apart over 12 rounds. The pace will change. And, you're going to see, essentially a dissection of Canelo, and people are going to be shocked. They're going to cry because, Canelo's his God, their God. But they're going to realize that this guy faced the biggest challenge he's ever faced, and he's been, eviscerated in front of the world. And the power thing, you've seen Bud's lifts in the gym, right? The guy's deadlifting over 400 pounds for multiple reps. He unracks like 500 pounds from the bar and a bench. And so it's like this whole thing about, he's not strong enough, he's not big enough. It's like, come on, man. I mean,
well, listen, that's an interesting.
Canelo could deadlift what Bud? Come on.
That's an interesting prediction right there. We got to move. But hold on, what's your name so I can write the prediction down?
Zod from New Jersey.
Zod from New Jersey. Now, is that from the whole? Where was that from? Zod? Was that from Superman?
Yes, Lord Zod.
Zod. Okay, so you're saying Crawford is too much of a man for Canelo?
Lord Zod, yeah.
Well, I just wrote Zod. There's only one Lord, and that's our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. But go ahead, yeah.
Well, in the Superman, franchise, obviously.
Sure.
So,
so Crawford by stoppage. So did you say Crawford by stoppage?
It's either going to go 12 by decision for Crawford, or Crawford actually could pull out the stoppage, because once he pulls off a couple of those quick counters and a couple of those intercepting shots that Canelo doesn't see coming, because I don't know if you saw that clip where Canelo was sparring with Boots. He threw a shot and Boots quickly threw a check hook and just snapped his head back, and it was quick. And I'm saying, if you see Boots can do something like this, what do you think Bud's going to do to him in the ring, man?
But wait, where did you see that? Where did you see that clip? Where did you see that clip of Canelo and Boots sparring? Because I haven't seen it yet.
Yeah, they were sparring. It's like a 5-second or 6-second clip or whatever. Canelo throws like one of his power shots, like the jab, right overhand and whatnot. And he doesn't. I guess Boots was against the ropes, or Boots cut the distance really quick, and then between that shot, Boots got in close enough to throw a really quick, nasty hook, and then just pivoted out. And I'm like, dude, if something like this can be done to Canelo by Boots, what do you think is going to happen to him by Bud?
Well, just real quick, where can I watch this video? Where can I watch this video? Because I haven't seen any clips of Canelo and Boots. Where did you see that? Canelo and Boots sparring.
Oh man, I saw it on one of these guys. Like they were, I think, I don't know, maybe Showbiz showed the clip of them sparring.
Mm-hmm.
It was one of his videos, and he was showing the clip of them sparring, like when Bud first came into camp, and they're like, "Oh, Bud's in camp" or whatever. And I think maybe one of the videos after, they showed a clip of him sparring, and it's like, man, come on, dude, come on. I just don't see it's not convincing to me because I haven't been brainwashed like the bulk of the boxing community thinking Canelo's this god. No, man, no, he's not, and he's gonna be exposed.
I got your prediction down. We got to move on here to other phone calls. But hey, call back next time. We're going to be doing more shows, or jump on the open Discord panel on Friday. All right, Zod. In the meantime, we got to go, man. I got to take more phone calls. But thank you for your call, and call back next time. All right.
Okay.
Take it easy, man.
God bless. Bye.
You too, man. All right, let's go to another phone call here. Let's go to 470. 470. You're on the air. 470. What's on your mind?
Hey, what's up, guys? Can you hear me?
Absolutely, man. What's up?
All right, so I learned a long time ago, guys, that I go with my initial gut instinct when it comes to a fight.
Uh-huh.
So I'm not going to let a year of media hype and propaganda sway me. I like both guys, but I think Canelo's going to win the fight. The two fights that I just can't get out of my mind are the Charlo fight and the Plant fight, where you have both guys in retreat mode the entire fight, looking to survive. These are natural. I mean, Charlo was the undisputed champ at 154. Plant was trained by Breadman, who's on media now talking about what he thinks Crawford is going to do to Canelo. And these guys were in retreat defense mode all night. And Charlo still got knocked down, and Plant still got knocked out. These are natural 168-pound guys who are pretty good boxers. They're not, Crawford. But I'm trying to put, I think the scenario where you try to envision a Crawford victory is, I think these guys see Canelo as a plotter, and that Crawford is going to go in and somehow nullify the power differential, and he's just going to outbox him. But Canelo has head movement. He's got waist movement. He's got feints. He knows how to set guys up. He knows how to set traps. He knows how to feint low and go high, feint high and go low. He can hit the body. I just don't see. I don't see it. I just don't see a pathway for Crawford. I picked Bivol to beat Canelo, so I'm not one of these people who see Canelo as he's one of the all-time greats. Bivol had the size, the height, the volume to deal with Canelo, and then Mayweather was just genius IQ, ring IQ, and he has super fast reflexes. Outside of that, I mean, Canelo has experience with southpaws. He faced Lara, he faced Sanders, he faced Trout, he just faced Skull. I just don't see. I think Crawford has a couple strategies he's going to use. He's going to try a power counterpunch strategy that he used with Spence and a couple other fights. One thing I will say about Crawford, he's outside of Usyk, he's probably the best counterpuncher in boxing. He finds the holes, and he just throws that 1-2. It'll just come out of nowhere. We saw it in a couple of his fights at welterweight, but in this fight, I don't see him being active enough. I just don't see a pathway for him to win. Everything would have to go perfect for him on fight night.
All right.
To win the fight.
Well, I got so you said Canelo decision. Are you hesitating? What the fuck?
I think, I think that Canelo. Somebody called in earlier. I don't know how into conspiracies you guys are, but If it's looking like he's winning real easy, he might just lay off of Crawford. But if it's a competitive fight and he sees the counter shot or he sees the shot, he could potentially knock Crawford. I could see him knocking Crawford out. But I'm gonna go. I'm just gonna go with the decision.
All right. Well, who is this?
And the other thing, I just want to close out with this. You see this pattern with a lot of fights where you'll see the betting line, and Canelo was more of a heavy favorite when this fight was announced, and then with all the media hype, it gets real close. That allows guys who want to put money on the fight to make more money, because once they get the odds real close, you can put a big sum of money down right before the fight. When the odds are, because right now Canelo's only a plus 170. I'm sorry, minus 175. So the odds are tightening up. So people out there really think. There's a lot of people out there who think Crawford will win, so the odds have tightened up. But I'm just going to stick with my initial feeling with Canelo.
All right, who is this, by the way? Because I got to write it down.
This is Chris in Atlanta.
Yeah, you've called in before. Okay, yeah. Shout out to Chris. Thank you for your call. Call back next time during the week, and we'll catch you on the next one.
All right.
All right, take it easy. All right, that concludes the phone calls for today. I didn't expect so many. I suspect there's still more people who want to call in, but we do have to cut it short for right now because we've been taking phone calls for about an hour now. So we'll try to do another phone call show maybe tomorrow or Wednesday, all right? So if you want to call back, feel inclined to do so. And if you didn't get a chance to call in today, you're going to get your chance. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. By the way, shout out to Chris K, a.k.a. Undercover Asian, for his contribution via the Buy Me a Coffee app. He says, real prediction. Come on. So it wasn't real when he... All right, let's see. He says, real prediction. TC, that means Terence Crawford, ain't built for 168. He says, this might look like Brook jumping up to face Triple G. Could have some success based on speed and movement, but ultimately it won't matter as Canelo will have more power and will eat Crawford's best punches. He says, I'll go with Canelo TKO 9. Crawford having one fight at 154 and then jumping up to 168 and facing Canelo smells like cashing out to me. Interesting. Shout out to Chris K for his contribution. Really appreciate it. I want to go to Food TV. The real Food TV. There's no other. If you ever see another Food TV out there, it's a copycat. It's a counterfeit. Fu, are you there? And by the way, shout out to everybody who called in. Really appreciate you guys' call. Very entertaining calls, very informative, and lets me know what the vibe is out there in the boxing world. I see Fu's not responding right now. Let me see what people in the chat are saying. Straight Right Hand says, I'm neutral. Marty McSly. That's another one. Everyone on this show picked Bud over Spence, so I don't know how that makes sense. I think he's talking to somebody else there. Black Warrior Spirit says, any boxing fan, historian, doesn't want to see 168 Crawford versus at 47-year-olds, and I'm a Crawford fan. All right, 47. I don't think he's quite 47. Raphael says, time to get off. He says, time I get off the plane, I'm going to Planet 13. People making weed references out there? The devil's herb, as I like to call it. Jonathan Freeman says, that's not Crawford's body. I think it is, man. I don't know. Butch is the one that posted the picture, but I think I think it's quite accurate. All right, we got Fu on muting. Fu, are you there?
Yeah, what's up?
Fu, I wanted to ask you. I don't know how much you heard of the phone calls here. I know you've been riding with Canelo to the point where you don't see Crawford winning. But what did you make of the phone calls and of how really a lot of people are picking Crawford not only to win, but stoppage as well?
I heard a couple of ridiculous ones.
Come on.
I mean, this whole thing of it's going to be super close and competitive. It's like, I mean, are you kidding? Like, I mean, maybe they believe that. Sorry, I got to turn my phone off. It's a million messages on here. Some of them are ridiculous. There was a guy in there said Crawford's gonna knock him out, and then he was looking at his welterweight fight. It's like, bro, he's going up in weight. He knocked guys out at 147, like, or 140. Like, how do you apply that to this fight? You can't. There's a lot of ridiculous stuff I heard there, and it made me.
Oh, come on! Don't besmirch our callers like that. They take the time to call here. They wait. There's a long waiting line, and people still make the effort.
Is this based on emotions?
Something sounds like wishful thinking more than a prediction.
I agree with that.
Yeah. He's gonna knock him out. That's all I can see.
Somebody called in, and Benavides Jr. was apparently a really good boxer, and that was his last great hurrah. I mean, I don't know how you come up with that.
He's getting beat up in that fight too. The guy was literally told that he might never fight again.
Yeah, exactly.
He's losing rounds to him.
I mean, again, if you want to talk about a flat-footed boxer, then look at that guy. He basically only had one leg.
He had a knee brace on in that ring.
Yeah.
Well, my thing is this: when people say, and by the way, yeah, we're going to be posting the Discord info. Give me just some time, but the Discord episode is going to be on Friday. At least I think so. Butch, I was thinking about doing a StreamYard episode on Thursday. Paying for StreamYard.
You can do whatever you want. I'll do the open lines on Friday as always.
All right.
Probably a show tomorrow. Yeah.
Yeah, we'll see. Okay, yeah, we'll see. We'll see. No guarantees about the Thursday thing, but I'm thinking about this, and I'm saying, look, Crawford can move. He moves pretty well, and his pivots, like I mentioned in a video, one of the videos that we posted, he's got very good pivots. The thing is, we haven't seen him move and stick and move the way he did against Postal since 2016. That was 9 years ago. Trump wasn't even president still. He wasn't. He hadn't even won yet. That was Obama was still president. That's how long ago that was. And also the other thing is this: when people talk about Crawford's superior godlike IQ and that he can outbox Canelo if he wants to, but that's just a luxury that he has. He's actually going to stand his ground and stop Canelo. I actually think the latter is what he's going to try more than the boxing, because he tried boxing Kavaliauskas. He was getting outboxed. So he could not box.
I think if he tried to get tough with Canelo, he would instantly find out that he can't do that.
So, but that's what I'm saying. So what I'm saying is, I give Crawford a lot of credit that he can fight. Yeah, he's multidimensional. Yep. He ended up backing Kavaliauskas up and stopped him. But think about why he had to do that, because the backing up approach wasn't working. He was getting caught with overhand rights. So he felt safer to have his weight on the front foot rather than trying to lean away from those shots, because that was going to get him caught. I don't know if that's going to work against Canelo backing up. So and then if he tries to right. So and now if he tries to stop him, that's also dangerous. But hey, you never know. Maybe that actually would be the smartest course of action than to just run.
I think Canelo's better. He's better at covering range. That's another thing he's better at than Crawford. He can cover that range pretty quickly. So if Crawford's out of position, Canelo would just step in, and he does it. He does it well. When he steps in with that forward foot, he covers range real quickly. You think you're not in position, right? Because this guy Crawford, a lot of times he reaches. Like a lot of times his fist will go, but his feet won't. And when he does that, he's in big trouble with a guy like Canelo. And he does that a lot. He did it many times versus Madrimov. He does it in many of his fights. He reaches in. That's when he does that, there's no power on that. And then if Canelo, he's taking this very seriously. So he's most likely just going to step in when this guy throws these jabs. That's one of his biggest weapons, is that lead right hand, right? Many times he'll punch it without actually stepping in with it. Most times he will do that when he's not committing. He'll kind of reach with it, which is again a big problem. So he's going to have to make all kinds of adjustments in order to even survive this fight when it comes to his his approach. More feints and maybe some off movement. Because even if you see the Madrimov fight, he's not very tricky in his footwork. He'll circle left and circle left and circle left and circle left and then circle right, circle right, circle right. It's not like Saunders or like a Lara who's switching. He's doing a lot of stutter steps right and doing all that. He's not very tricky even in the way he moves laterally. And Canelo.
Are you asking too much for a 38-year-old?
I think it's too much to ask. It is. I think it would have been too much to ask for, even if he could have gone up in his 20s. Like I've been saying it for a while, the guy's not only bigger than Crawford, he's better than him. That's just simplest way to put it. Their only hope is that this guy is he's shot and Crawford somehow has more speed. But even then, there's that thing called an IQ, and sometimes the IQ can also it could beat speed as well.
All right. Well, listen, it's it's time to put it on the line here. The callers called in; they gave us their predictions. Now we got to hear from the panel here. Bucho, you already gave yours. You said Canelo by stoppage. Gonzalo, are you there?
Can you just write ninth round? Round 9.
Ninth round. All right.
Yeah.
Let's change that up. There you go. Gonzalo, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
What's your prediction, Gonzalo, for the big fight on Saturday?
Okay, point blank, I think Canelo wins a split decision. But let me put it into perspective right quick.
Sure.
Because I've been saying a lot of times, that they will give it to Crawford because he's going up. So they're going to give him like a little bit of Like just because you're competing at 68 and you made it competitive, we're just gonna give you like we're just gonna reward you with the victory because that was good enough. As opposed to what Antonio Tavares says that you have to beat Canelo because he's always getting the benefit of the doubt. No, I think they'll give it to Crawford if it's close. The difference why I'm picking Canelo by split when it does sounds like if it's split, okay, that it is going to be close because I think the knockdown or knockdowns are going to be the difference. I'm gonna preface it with that, kind of like I told you and I mentioned it against Charlo. Charlo's going to be down at least one time, and we've seen that Canelo's dropping his last 5 opponents. Minus Skull. So minus Skull, the last 5 before that, then he had the knockout against Caleb Plant. But Skull ran. So I think if Crawford stands in there and trades, because he's really like Samir's opponents. When he fought Posto, he moved. When he fought Pegleg Benavides, he sat there and traded. When he fought Horn, he outstepped the tough guy. So he's gonna fight. He's gonna fight Canelo like Canelo wants to fight him, because that's obviously what's the people want to see, and it's gonna ultimately decide if the judges are going to give him the fight. Because if he goes on the back foot and starts running around doing the whole Tom and Jerry thing, they're not going to give him the fight. So yes, he's going to try to sit there and trade in spots with Canelo, but I think doing that, that's why he's going to get knocked down at least once. But I'm just going to say he's going to get dropped twice. He's going to get dropped twice. He ends up winning 5 rounds, but Canelo drops him twice, and he wins the fight by split decision. Maybe he'll end up winning 6 rounds, but the 2 knockdowns will be the difference.
All right, there we go. That's Gonzalo's prediction right there. Gypsy's back. Gypsy, are you able to talk?
Yeah, I finally dropped my customer off.
All right.
So,
did you wipe your mouth?
Distance, bro. It said 2 hours on my GPS, but I think I dropped him off in an hour and a half.
All right. Don't just next time don't say that, because now people are gonna clown you now in the chat now, saying, "Oh, he dropped his customer off. Did you wipe your mouth?" People are gonna start doing that now.
Oh, well, I mean, they have to make everything dirty. I mean, you got a lot of gay people over there, so.
I agree. Why do they have to make it all dirty? I agree with you. It's disgusting. But go ahead, Gypsy. What's your prediction, man, for the fight? Canelo Crawford.
Bro, my prediction, I made a video off of it on my channel. I think, for some reason, I don't know why, I think Terrence is going to pull this off. I don't know why, but look, I'm a Canelo fan, bro. I feel I don't want him to win. I like Terrence. Don't get me wrong. I don't want Terrence to win, but I feel like Terrence is gonna pull it off, and it's gonna be a shock. But I could be wrong, and I think Canelo, maybe Canelo could stop him later in the fight. But you know what it is with Terrence Crawford. You're gonna say why you mentioned this. Okay, I'm gonna mention Amir Khan. Amir Khan, when he fought Amir Khan, he it's like he carried whatever power he was possessing in 140 pounds. He started to show it in 147. And I think, and it's the same thing with 154. I think him taking a year and like 6 months or whatever it was for this fight, I think he's getting ready to show that power at 168. And if he does, Canelo is going to have a very hard night. I know the right hand's still there for him. I've seen many videos of many people saying the right hand's there. Yeah, but the Madronov's right hand is not. Look, Madronov is no slouch. He's a good fighter, man. People like shit on him like he's an amateur and this. No, he did very good. Even though he didn't have he's only had 10 professional fights. He was still a threat. I mean, Bivol used him for the Canelo fight. To imitate Canelo. So. But the thing is with Madronov, I think he fought Madronov very cautiously in the beginning because it's 154 pounds. And then when he turned it up on Madronov almost got knocked out. He almost took Madronov out of that fight. I think he's
Gypsy, what's going on in the Gypsy? Sorry, excuse me. What's going on in the background? Yeah. Are you cranking something up, or what's going on in the background?
It's probably my
he's in an air balloon.
The carburetor in the back, it's like vibrating.
The carburetor, yeah, I hear it. Yeah,
shake my teeth. I'm scared.
It's like you're in one of those old-timey cars from the 1920s. What the fuck?
Yeah, it's speed driving. That's what this is.
You gotta get a better car if you're gonna be dealing with clients. You gotta impress them. You gotta get I don't know shit about cars, so I don't know
got
what's.
tipped by the old lady, bro. $20, bro. I took her all the way to freaking Ontario for $150 something, and I got $20 on top of that.
Gypsy,
So far, I'm going back there.
Gypsy the Gigolo.
Yeah.
All the women are in. He's in hot demand with the Coors. All right, so what's your official prediction?
My official prediction for now, I'm just saying for now, I think Terrence by split decision, just like Usyk had it, surprisingly. I think split, maybe even UD, but I'm gonna go with probably split decision because I think they don't want to make Canelo look bad, and I think Terrence is catching Canelo at a bad time. If it was Canelo a year and a half ago, I'll favor Canelo hands down. I wouldn't even have a doubt because when he came off that Bivol loss, he came out sharp. People don't realize it, but then when the fight didn't come to fruition, the second fight, he kind of lost that desire to compete at a high level. He's still competing, but at a high level. So, and he's getting older, and I'm seeing a lot of rusty things from him, and I'm seeing less motivation on top of that. One thing with him, I think with him, it's the stamina. I think his drinking habits is going to catch up to him in this fight. That's my belief. I don't know. It might not be true. It might be Canelo, vintage Canelo from, second fight with Triple G, and then good night Crawford. You know what I mean?
I know exactly what you mean. Now, one thing that caught my attention, you have a channel. That's why maybe I thought you weren't around that anymore because you disappeared after the, whatever happened there between Fury and Usyk.
I didn't find entertaining any fight coming up, so I didn't get out there. And there was a lot of, this Usyk fangirls out there just, oh my God, Usyk, oh my God, like that kind of, and it just annoyed the shit out of me. I'm like, okay, enough. I'm not going to watch you guys. I'm going to watch boxing, but I'm just not going to put myself out there.
I wish I could do that.
Guys like to suck on Usyk's titties, so.
Oh, come on. By the way, I saw somebody in the forum calling Usyk, they're saying Usyk faked the back injury so he could avoid Joseph Parker, and they're calling him Jusic now. Jew-sick, he's like a Jew or something.
Yeah, Usyk does juice, but so what? So does everybody else. And I think Usyk beats Parker. I think Usyk beats Caballero, but I think the best danger for Usyk is Moses Atama, but I think he needs one good fight to hone in his experience a little bit up until they put him up against Usyk. And maybe even Tyson Fury, if Tyson Fury comes up with a different game plan instead of being on the back foot.
All right, now, Gypsy, you got me curious about something real quick. You got me curious about something because you mentioned Caballero. Caballero, I believe, is of Turkish descent. Now, it's a well-known fact, you're Armenian. Do you root against Caballero because of what happened with your people there close to 100 years ago?
Stuff like that. It's nothing that I think Caballero is probably mostly Armenian. If I go into that depth, I found out things. I had a revelation these past 6 months or more. Probably more than that. Probably earlier than that. I just never revealed it. Even in the Usyk fight as well. Turkish people are genuinely Armenian. They're Armenian, but they've lost their ways because when the Mongol Empire took over, they took on Mongol tribal stuff.
Interesting.
And that's the reason why they forgot about what it is to be an Armenian. And that's why Caballero looks a lot Armenian himself, to be honest.
So you're claiming his success, you're claiming it as Armenian, is what you're saying?
No, I'm not blaming it on. I'm not blaming anything.
No, you're claiming it.
Tribal shit. I could, if you want me to.
I mean, it's not about whether I want it or not. It's just, I just looked it up. He's of Kurdish descent.
You know that.
All right. Kurdish.
This Caballero has a little mix. Better is an actual, he's just Muslim. That's the only thing. He's chosen us a path.
All right, that's the only thing you dislike. There you go. Gypsy just said the only thing he dislikes about him is that he's Muslim. So Gypsy dislikes Muslim. That's all right. That's your point of view, man.
No, I didn't say anything. No, you're putting words in my mouth, bro. There's nothing wrong about being Islam. Islam is all good. You know, there's nothing wrong. Even if
Doesn't sound
Muhammad
like it.
used to be a pedo, it doesn't matter.
Come on, man. All right, we gotta move on here. We gotta move on. I gotta get. All right, thank you for your prediction there, Gypsy. Fu, the real Fu TV. There's no another one.
Yeah.
The men of many talents. They call him the men of many talents. Fu, what's your prediction for Saturday night?
I mean, I have many. I have many predictions of it, but
No,
there's so many. There's so
one.
many ways you can go with what's going to happen. I think the one way I see it is I see like a 4th round knockout win for Canelo. I think it would be a TKO. I think he's going to catch him somewhere around the 3rd or 4th with something big and drop him. It might actually happen sooner than that. I could actually see him getting knocked out pretty soon. One prediction I have a 3rd or 4th round TKO. My other prediction is the 8th or 9th round. I'll say the 9th round TKO. All right, but it all depends on how Canelo is. He gonna his approach. Is he gonna put the pressure on this guy? Is he gonna try to box him? I just thought there's many ways to see it, but I see Canelo winning every time. I don't really see Crawford. I don't think he has a chance in this. So
no chance.
I say,
yeah.
The more likely outcome I think is going to be a 9th round TKO win for Canelo.
That's your gut feeling right there. Is what you're saying?
Yeah, that's how I feel. I feel he's gonna take him out around there somewhere.
All right,
that or sooner. Around there.
My gut feeling is then Canelo decision. Now you know me. I just came out of a bout of pugilistic schizophrenia. I'm still getting over it. And sometimes I feel like I'm going to recede back into it. Like there's some recidivism. The recidivism rate is very high for pugilistic schizophrenia. So I might just have to change or not necessarily change it to Crawford, but just maybe Canelo very close decision or something. But I do see, when the way you and Bucho break it down though, and others, I can see Canelo scoring a knockout. And people keep saying, well, he hasn't scored a knockout since 2021. I'm thinking, okay, but he can still look at how he drops these dudes. Maybe this is the one time he drops a guy he doesn't get up.
Look, if he pulls, I said it at one of my videos I made months ago. Look, if he hits Crawford one of those left hooks like he hit Berlanga, that guy's going to bed. He's done. He's out. People don't understand. This guy's getting rocked by small men, and now he's getting hit by a full 168-pound fighter. He ain't Canelo. That's his real weight. This guy's coming up. He's building himself up. It's going to be different. Just getting hit on the arms is going to be different. That's what I'm saying. It's unlikely that he's going to survive this. Even if Canelo counterpunches him, he'll knock him out probably sooner. A lot of this depends on what Crawford does. So if he comes in there and he's all, he thinks he can try to take it to Canelo, I think he's going to find out very quickly that he cannot do that. So he's going to be like forced to box. And if Canelo keeps putting that pressure, it's going to put a strain on his gas tank. So to see him go to 12, I can't see it. I think somewhere around even if Canelo has issues catching him, somewhere around the 7th or 8th, this guy's going to start to really, really slow down, I think. And Canelo's going to be able to just bust him up. He's going to hit him with whatever he wants, body shots, especially if Canelo's stabbing him to the body with that right hand. I mean, this guy is going to get broken down, I think. It's going to look pretty bad for him, I think. I don't see the 12. That's the thing. But again, if he can move around there real well, not throw many punches, very similar to like Charlo, then maybe he might be able to survive the 12, but he's going to clearly lose. That's another outcome I could see. But the more likely one, I think, is going to be the 8th or 9th round TKO stoppage. That's what I see.
All right, so that's your gut feeling. Go ahead, Gypsy. What?
For fucking 12 rounds. You think this guy doesn't have the ability to survive for 12 rounds? I mean,
not versus this guy. Not versus this guy.
I don't know, man. I think Charlo. Yeah, brother. But the thing is, even Berlanga's skill set isn't even that great compared. And but I guess he put on weight so he could take the punches, and he survived fucking 12 against.
Berlanga's a very big, strong man. Yeah. Very big guy. For the way he's a big, strong guy. Crawford's not Berlanga.
Yeah, I'll be right back, guys. I'll be right back. Keep it going.
Erickson Lubin put him on his ass cheeks. You know that, right? Erickson Lubin. That's 154 pounds.
Yeah, but he's accustomed to. I don't know what was going on with his weight. Maybe he was having weight cut issues. but he's accustomed to being hit by big guys. And so I just, in my mind, I don't see him taking those shots. The shots Munguia took, the shots Saunders took, he's not going to be able to hold up to that stuff. Even the shots to the arm are going to wear on this guy like no other. Because at least you got to remember, at least Amir Khan could get out of the way of that shit. And also, Canelo wasn't fighting in this style back then. Now he breaks you down all over your body. It isn't just to the head, it's the arms, it's the legs.
That's a good point. The shots to the arm, I think, will do
hips,
a lot of damage.
You know,
particularly to the right arm. That's what he shoots. Because because Crawford oftentimes is dropping his hands, and he got the long arms. In order for him to whip them longs on forwards, he has to have strong shoulders. So if he starts beating them shoulders, his ability to throw those counter shots as he takes a step back and swipes that on forward in order to gain that momentum. Once he beats that arm down, he's gonna break his ability to throw that good counter lead left hook.
He's going to get sluggish too. He's going to have issues stepping in with the shot. It's going to be real slow. It's going to set him up for counters.
Exactly.
It's one thing that always amazes me. It's not the Errol Spence win that he had. That was like maybe broken down Errol Spence, so we can't give much credit to that. To me, it was the Sean Porter win. The Sean Porter win always amazed me. You know why? Because they told him he's down, and I think he was not really. He was playing around with Porter. I think that's what the reality was. He wasn't taking Porter seriously. He thought he was winning too, playing around, doing the antics that he was doing. But when he turned up on that 10th round and he said, "Oh, I'm down," okay. He didn't even let him touch him once, bro. He fucked his world up. And I think with Errol Spence, he wasn't on that level when he fought. Whatever he did in that 10th round against Sean Porter, he wasn't even doing that against Errol Spence. He was doing bare minimum. And he fucked up Errol Spence. And with Modrinov, I told you guys, I think he played it safe with Modrinov, and he ate a couple of right hands. He wasn't serious up until the very end, where he heard it multiple times, and Modrinov was holding on for dear life.
I didn't see any of that. I thought Bud clearly lost that fight. I thought he lost the fight. I saw it multiple times.
I don't think he lost, but different opinion. It doesn't really matter. It was triangle theory doesn't really work. Triangle theory never really works, bro. I hate using triangle theories. But the thing is, this is the reason why I just can't completely just throw this guy and say he's gonna get his ass knocked the fuck out. I just can't. There's something about him that with these guys are super bud. I don't know, he's not super
intangibles.
Bud, but yeah, the intangibles. Like he does have like when he's turned up, like if he turns up like he turned up against Sean Porter in that 10th round against Canelo, he would show. Yeah, I know it's Sean Porter.
This isn't a welterweight. This isn't a welterweight.
I know, bro. I know.
Yeah.
The discrepancy is obvious. It's not that. It's just that
skills. The skills as well. This isn't Sean Porter in terms of skills. This isn't Spence Jr. in terms of skills. This guy's much better than all those guys.
He's way better. Yeah.
Of course he is. Of course he is. It's just that Sean Porter's style will make, no matter how many skills you have, it's just going to make it really nasty because his style is just that dirty.
But so he's got that plotting style where he's just picking off all your shots. You become hopeless. I think he's gonna become hopeless at some point. He's gonna be winging out those right hands. He's not gonna land it on anything but arms and gloves.
I think his jab might punch through his guard, though. I think it's gonna happen.
All right,
I don't think so, man. I don't see it at all.
All right, guys, let's take a let BDA read some super chats, then we can continue.
Yes, shout out to JR Moreno. Shout out to JR Moreno for his contribution with the super chat. He says, "You got some delusional fans. I'ma watch after the live. LOL." All right, I don't know exactly what he means by that. Then he shout out to Marty McSly for his contribution with the super chat. Shout out to Marty McSly. Says, "I heard somebody on IBFP talking about how all the pros are picking Crawford. Somebody said, if you want the weather, are you going to ask your friend or the weatherman? And then somebody else said, well, if the weathermen have CTE and racial grievances, I'll ask my friend." Hey, shout out to Marty McFly and JR Moreno. Yeah, that's true. I mean, everyone's bringing up the like I said, the experts. But then you actually read what they're saying. Like, for example, Usyk, he's just different. That's what he said about Crawford. He's just different. The way he looks at time, he looks at space, that fit for the dimensions. And then you look at Clarissa Shields, that he's just got that dog. I'm not kidding. She actually said that. She said he's got that dog. Just like the type of stuff. I mean, if you listen to any comment on YouTube, that's what you hear. That the dog.
I'm a dog. I'm a dog.
That's what
And
it is.
they constantly use this word delusional. The guy's got to look that word up, because when you actually look it up and know what the word means, you're the one who actually looks delusional, making these crazy predictions that aren't based in anything that's real. That's all imaginary. You know, we're making an actual logical prediction based on his performances. You know, these guys are just making stuff up.
Foo, I've heard some good predictions from people picking Crawford. They're saying, hey, listen, Canelo's got stamina issues and Crawford does have good lateral movement. Maybe that can offset Canelo, prevents him from throwing a lot.
But that doesn't make any logical sense, because this guy's going up in weight, meaning he's carrying a heavier body.
Well,
also, he's never been stabbed to the body with hard right hand.
I know,
right
but what I'm saying
gut,
is
you know?
that is actually a much better prediction than just saying Crawford's got the X factor, he's got that dog, he's got the mutant gene.
I don't really see the stamina issues like that. Like that, it's that bad. Earlier in his career, he had stamina issues, but over the years, he's very good at pacing himself. So
He's not gonna
maybe in the Bivol fight, but you got to keep in mind he's bigger in the Bivol fight, right? He's a bigger guy, and he's getting pushed around by a bigger guy, so that's wearing on him. You might actually see the same thing happen to Crawford.
Well, let me ask you about that. Let me ask you about this, Gypsy. Hold on.
I don't think he's gonna. Yeah.
I just want to bring something. Well, actually, make your point and then remind me. I got to say something about all. I got something to ask you, but go ahead, Gypsy. Finish your point.
Yeah, sorry to cut you off, bro. I'm saying that he's not gonna put on more weight. He's just gonna not cut muscle to make 154 like he did. Everything's gonna come in more stronger than
He looks bulked up. I've seen some pictures of him. He does look bulked up. Not just the one that was just released. I've seen his traps look bigger. He put muscle on that frame. And when he adds that water and that fat to that, he's going to look bigger. But it's going to probably be too much for him.
I was watching Blue Bloods TV, whatever. My saying is fucking channel, right? I don't even know. It's Blue Bloods TV. Yeah, I think that's what it is. And this guy had a picture of him at 147 looking exactly ripped up for the Aerosmith fight. For this one, he looked exactly the same, bro. Like I'm telling you, he's not coming in good. He's coming in stronger.
He looked big in that fight. He did look. Both guys look big actually, but no, he's bigger now.
Not like this. No,
I don't think you've seen the pictures, Gypsy.
The thing about putting on muscle weight is definitely stamina, and here's what I mean by that. Like you can prepare for it, but when you're fighting somebody who's not, it's not a sparring fight. It's a guy who's trying to beat you. Especially if it's your first go around and it's Canelo Alvarez, that's going to be a problem. It's going to show up in the fight. Now, of course, Canelo looks like he gets winded at times, but his getting winded, what happens to him? He just gets outboxed. Nothing dangerous happens to him, right? Like he literally gets knocked out. The closest thing I've ever seen Canelo to in trouble was maybe the 10th round against Golovkin. And I think Golovkin might have backed him up, and that was it. Like he took a step back, weaved some punches, and and survived that exchange. So
I thought he was gassing in the Ryder fight a little bit, but Ryder's a big, strong guy.
We didn't see him get fucking knocked out or
he didn't get knocked out. But he was. I could clearly see him gassing, but then you saw him in the Munguia fight, and he kept that pace going the whole fight, all 12 rounds.
Here's my point about that, right? So we've seen him gassed in fights where he's still throwing a lot of hard punches, and in this case, he's fighting guys who are bigger than him, and in a lot of cases lately, guys who are bigger than him and younger than him, right? So they got two advantages over him. Maybe they're not at the skill level as him, but they got those two things against them. What you're asking Crawford to do is go into places he's never been before, all right? And then he's gonna feel that extra weight because he's a human being, right? He's gonna feel that unless Canelo lays a total egg where there's no pressure, there's nothing at all, and this guy's it's just basically boxing against himself. He's gonna feel some type of heaviness. That's gonna be the key for him because Canelo's gonna keep trying to hit him hard because he's gonna see that you're fading, and if you understand fighting, right? When you see a guy, even if you are tired, if you see a guy tired, what you want to do is hit him with a big shot because because of yourself, if somebody hits you with a big shot while you're tired like that, there's a good chance you might get more depleted.
The muscles also have a higher blood requirement, and he's
Absolutely.
gonna and if he keeps him on the move, that's gonna wear him out even more. This is why you've seen he's working his legs too. I've seen a lot of his training. He's lifting heavy stuff, going down up and down steps, trying to build his legs up for this. Because if you're gonna build the top, you got to build the legs.
All good, Full TV, which is all good, but the problem is, remember, it's he's being contained. He's not in danger. He's practicing. It's going to be different when a guy is making your legs feel heavy and he's trying to knock you out at the same time.
If I may say something here, please. You guys are making some great points, and people are very dismissive of the Madrimov fight, the Crawford-Madrimov fight. And look, listen, there's people who are being dismissive of the Canelo school fight. But there was a lot there that Canelo could have done better, so he's not escaping unscathed, believe me. But I will say this about the Crawford-Madrimov fight. People look at the punch stat number, because I've heard people say, now, Crawford dominated that fight. Crawford made it look easy. If you go to the Crawford-Madrimov replay video on YouTube, over at Ring Magazine's channel, there's a lot of people saying, oh, the commentators were biased against Crawford. I'm thinking, what? All I remember was Sean Porter and another commentator. Just every time Crawford would land a shot, oh my God! And then Madrimov would land a flush, right? And they were talking about something else. They were talking about Kate Winslet or whatever her name is on the crowd. You know, the celebrities in the crowd. They were celebrity gazing in the crowd. So, and the other thing is this, as it pertains to that, if you look at the punch stats numbers here, Crawford landed 95 shots. Madrimov landed 84. So again, just because he was close in total connects doesn't mean that Madrimov won as many rounds. It's a possibility that he didn't win as many rounds because it's spread throughout 12 rounds. However, I want you to pay attention to this statistic. Crawford in the middle, you can see he threw 223 jabs. He landed 40. He landed 55 power shots out of 210. So he actually threw 50-50. 50%, almost 50% power shots, 50% jabs. If you look at who landed more power punches, it was Madrimov. So yeah, Crawford landed with 40 jabs, which I don't even know if that's really true. The cleaner head snapping shots were landed by Madrimov. So if the question is Canelo, who's also got pretty good accuracy, going to manage to do that as well, or maybe even improve on that? What do you guys think?
Yeah, when you talk about this punch stats, I never really this punch stats, man. No matter who it is, your favorite fighter,
I can't hear you, man. I can't hear you. You're breaking up. No, you're still. Are you still in the trolley? Are you still in the trolley?
Yeah, your Armenian Wi-Fi. Your Armenian Wi-Fi.
Come on.
Houston here, Francis. I had enough of you. Anyways, so if you can hear me now, I can continue talking. For now, I'm not free.
You know what? I can't hear you, but I'm going to pretend I'm not. So yeah, stay on mute, please. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Go ahead, man. Go ahead.
When you talk about punch stats, talk about punch stats, bro. Punch stats don't mean shit, bro. Like because of these fucking clowns that they don't count punches. I mean, there's so many Munguia punches that were landed that didn't even count that Canelo fight. I didn't think Munguia won, but they didn't give Munguia enough credit for the lot of work he was doing over there, bro. And same thing with Crawford, with the Madrimov. It's the same issue. He landed a lot of shots to the body, a lot of power shots that made Madrimov's freaking bend over and ask for forgiveness.
I didn't see that, man. It was not even close to dude. That guy was not in the fight. Like that.
What the fuck?
He was not in that fight like that.
Forgiveness.
Look,
that was Madrimov, dude. If anything, that fight was not even hard work for Madrimov. The hardest thing was chasing that guy down. Like, the guy wasn't beating him up or anything. He was running the whole fight.
That's why when they asked Madrimov who hit harder, Virgil Ortiz or fucking Terence Crawford, he said Terence
did
Crawford.
You see the way? Yeah, Madrimov was fucking running. He was Speedy Gonzalez that entire fight. I never seen the guy run so much and so fast. He ran almost the entire fight. But Bud, he was pressuring him. So I mean, there's no way that guy was such a big puncher. He was treating him like his bitch the whole fight. He's like, "Come on, stop running, Bud. Stop running."
But that's his style, though, bro. Like that, he's a back foot guy the entire time. The only time he starts pushing the pace and going front foot is if he notices your weakness is cracking your arm and shit. That's when he starts doing that shit. If not, he's not pushing forward, and he doesn't fight like Charlo. Charlo, on the other hand, if you watch like old school fights of him, Vanes Martirosyan, which he lost to, for example, I can remember that one clearly. And even the most recent one before he got his ass beat up by Canelo, it was what's his name? The Argentinian, the I forgot his name. He does the same shit. Yeah,
Campos is okay.
Castaño, yeah.
Yeah, and Castaño, yeah. There's Castaño, yeah. He ran around the entire ring. He lost almost every single fucking round, except for that 2 rounds where he hurt the guy, and then they somehow pull off a draw on this fool. Well, that was not a draw. He got
all right, Gypsy. Allow me to say this. You're gonna crash your car. Yeah. You're gonna crash your 1920s trolley. Look, I agree with you. I agree with you about the CompuBox. That's why I brought up the point, because the CompuBox doesn't tell the whole story. You actually have to watch the fight, and like I said, just because one guy maybe came near to the same punch connect or outlanded the guy, but did he outland him in the last 3 rounds? You know what I mean? So you got to look at all that. So that's why I brought it up. But it is significant that Madrimov did land more power punches, but Crawford landed 10 more punches thereabouts. Yeah. Plus, he mixed up.
They were counting shit that wasn't even landing.
okay, but hold on.
Uppercut, shit's all on the gloves. Like
what I'm saying is that that fight is similar to Golovkin-Jacobs. I'm saying Madrimov-Crawford is similar to Golovkin-Jacobs in that Golovkin, he landed the power shots and the jab, but people just didn't want to give him credit for that. The same arguments that I'm hearing for Crawford, like, he was on a KO run, and as soon as he goes 12 rounds, people just start nitpicking the mistakes he made or his flaws. Same thing what happened with Golovkin, except Golovkin at least dropped the dude and had him backing off throughout most of the fight. I didn't see that with Crawford and Madrimov. The fight took place mostly in the center of the ring. Most of the times, the only guy getting backed up was Crawford. Now, one thing I didn't like about Madrimov was that he was clinching late in the fight as he got tired. That's a big no-no for me. I got to take points away from that. Clinching, I dislike that.
He didn't do it much.
You know something, BDA? I don't know about you, but when I saw that fight, and I thought that fight was super close, it could have went either way. I edged it slightly for Crawford, but I could understand if people thought he lost, because you look at that fight, he could have lost that fight on points. Now, I thought to myself, that's his level right there. We just witnessed it.
I think is past his level. I think a guy's better than him.
Okay, but my point is, that's his wall right there. Yeah. That's the wall. When you meet somebody who's at your level, maybe a little bit above you, that's your wall. That's where you're at, right? And it could be because of the age. It could be a plethora of explanations. But my point is that it looked to me like that was his level. Now, I look at Canelo. Is Madrimov Canelo's level? The answer to me is obviously no.
No, he's not.
He's above that. Yeah, he's
way above that.
Right. So that's how I look at it. When I look at Madrimov and Bud, I always said to myself after that fight was, I think we just found out where his level was at. And that's it.
But Madrimov has the foot movement and Canelo's flat-footed, cement feet. And so that's the difference.
I don't think he has cement feet. I think you saw
what Canelo does explains why he's way more effective than a Madrimov, right? Yeah. It's the way he can turn his punches with his lead hand into your body, the power, the persistence, and his footwork. Yeah, it's kind of flat-footed, but what's wrong with that? If you're positioning yourself in the right way and you're doing it in perfect timing, and that's what I see from Canelo. Canelo's not. He's definitely not at his best. I don't think he's at his best.
Did you use the word plethora?
Yeah, plethora.
You're lucky, Jimmy. You're lucky, Jimmy's in here, man. Because every time somebody says a word, I go,
wow, you like that? I didn't think you were gonna catch on to that.
Yeah. No,
I think Madrimov has a lot of wasted movement. That's what he does. Canelo doesn't waste his movement like that.
That's a perfect food. That's a perfect. That's a perfect breakdown. Exactly. He doesn't waste movement.
Yeah, he doesn't waste movement.
That's why those punches are way more effective. And then on top of that, he's probably naturally more stronger than
he's
a guy
got better timing. He's got a lot of things. Like people, they really underrate his ability to thread the needle. Like you saw the Saunders fight where the guy's
telling me that
pivoting.
you don't think
He's
he
on the
can catch-
pivot and boom, he'll shoot that right hand right through the middle. And he was
You
catching
telling me
him
you don't
over and
think
over
that he
again.
can catch the same punch that dropped Berlanga? You don't think he can catch?
Oh yeah, for sure he can catch
Crawford
with
with
that. Dude, his guard is more leaky than Berlanga's.
And Berlanga's a big boy. The difference,
He's
okay,
a big strong guy, yeah.
skill level, yeah, okay, Crawford's better than Berlanga, right? Skill wise, he's better, but he's a bigger, stronger man than Crawford is. He's naturally 6 feet or above that, and he probably walks around 200 pounds. This probably is a guy whose body's still growing.
Yeah, he
Speaking
has a
of
much
bodies-
tighter high guard too. You got tight high guard. Crawford's got a very loose high guard. That's why this guy Madrimov was wrapping that left hook around that guard the whole fight. You saw his eye almost shut in that fight. You saw Crawford's eye; it was shutting.
Look, man, anything can happen in a fucking boxing fight. We know that, but this is what we do. We watch boxing as fans, and we play out. What is the best scenario? The best scenario to me, the way I view both guys' career, is Canelo wins this fight. He should.
Yeah.
He should win this fight.
I mean, we saw. I was talking about threatening the needle. You saw how Madrimov was just throwing simple setups, little touch with the left hand, boom, straight right down the middle. That's Canelo's bread and butter, and he always steps in with that. He'll double and triple up his kind of feint with his left hand, and then the right hand comes right through. This guy's eating that all day versus Madrimov. He was biting on every feint. This guy makes lots of mistakes. This
one of you mentioned the body. Adam in the chat says, "Picture this, Canelo fans: sweat dripping down his chest. Who wins now?" All right, so he wants us to picture Canelo's shirtless body and sweat dripping down his chest. I mean, I really don't know what's going on out there.
I don't get it.
As if Canelo's have fights where he's not sweating.
I mean, I don't even know. I don't even know why he wants us to picture that. I don't. Okay, so come on.
Somebody.
I'll picture one for you, Babucho. How about the Triple G fight, the second one, where he's sweating so much it looks like he wet his hair. It literally looks like he took a shower.
Well, and look at that. I was going to mention that the skull fight. Somebody called in and said like he looked not as cut as in that fight, because the second Golovkin fight, I think it's the best Canelo we've seen in terms of shape. He looked cut. He looked lean, cut, fast. Against Cole, he looked clean.
Yeah. Maybe he didn't think much of the guy, so he didn't push himself that hard in camp. Right now, we've already seen the pictures of him. He's all shredded and all that, So
yeah, they're saying that Canelo is already in peak form. I'm not too worried about that. The only thing that I would worry about is that sometimes you peak a little too early, you start sluggish a little bit. After that, you start going a little downhill. But that's for amateurs. A guy like Canelo, who has millions of dollars, he's got the best trainers in the world, so they know how to pace him. So I expect him to be 100%. Now the fight plays out. This is the way I'm gonna give you what I think would happen if these scenarios play out. I think the fight plays out where Crawford gives Canelo some fits, meaning it doesn't mean that he's winning rounds, but he's making them more difficult, right? Mm-hmm. For the moment. And that could be for a lot of reasons. It could be his rhythm. It could be that Canelo's getting his timing down, etc. I think if at a certain point Canelo hits him with a good shot, whether to the body, the arms, upstairs, whatever, and it's going to be one of those shots that get his attention, and he says, I don't think I can take that. And he'll probably be in retreat mode in his own way. Remember, he's a professional boxer, so he knows how to make it look that way without experienced fans seeing it. But people who know what they're seeing will be like, hey, he's backing down. He's backing off.
So what's your
if he does that, I could see him losing a 12-round fight. Right? I could see that happening, losing a 12-round fight. But if his ego gets in the way, a fight that I've been thinking about in my head that fight could play out, not necessarily exactly to the T, is a fight like Meldrick Taylor and Chavez, where I'm gonna give you the scenario, right? the backstory on that. If people remember, it did look like Taylor was winning most of those rounds, and maybe he was, but what they were not paying attention was the amount of damage he was taking, right? And then suddenly he collapses, right? That's why I say I'm not saying that it's going to play out exactly like that. You could see a scenario where Crawford is standing his ground and he looks like he's taking it just fine. Then just out of nowhere, that dude just collapses. He just breaks down. And that's another scenario I can see happening.
So you're saying your official prediction is Canelo decision?
I think I'm leaning towards that. I have a feeling he catches him somewhere in the third or the fourth round, and he's in retreat mode where maybe he won't fool us, but he'll fool like the casual fans or delusional fans, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he'll be in retreat mode, and I think he's good enough to avoid getting stopped. You know, he might even get dropped. Take a knee, whatever. But he's good enough where I think he gets hit with a big shot early. I think it's going to be Canelo's lead left. It's either going to be to the body, upstairs, something that's going to set that all up, and he's going to hurt him. And I think that if Crawford survives, Crawford's going to be in retreat mode. The same thing that happened with Charlo. I saw that happen with Charlo.
Interesting.
I think one of the biggest issues with Crawford is that he's a southpaw, but he doesn't have a very good left hand. He's mostly a right-handed geared fighter, and that's all Canelo's been defending against that most of his career. So this guy doesn't really pose a lot of danger to him in that way, right? His biggest shot to me is that overhand kind of right. He's got kind of an educated right hand, and since it's at the front, it reaches the target first. But, he's put on all this weight, and again, this is a guy that's accustomed to getting hit by real hard right hands. Not that Canelo gets hit with them a lot, but he's completely geared towards defending against right hands. Almost all boxers are. So I just don't see a lot there. I feel like Canelo's just going to come in very calm, and he's just going to high guard that shit and just pick it all off and just keep pressing and pressing and pressing. Feint, straight right to the body, and just basically pick him apart. I think that's what I think is going to probably end up happening. And if Bud wants to get rough and shoot in hard with that right hand, this guy's going to line him up for right hand right to the face. I think he might actually just get knocked out on that. Just one shot, boom.
I think
because you never seen this guy spaghetti legged and then stay that way. A guy that can hit him hard enough to spaghetti leg him. I don't think he'd be able to recover from it. I think he'd put out quick.
I think the danger for Canelo is when he loads up on that right hand to the body, that right hook. Crawford's got some good counter uppercuts. He doesn't even dip or slip the shot to get the counter. He just stands there. However, if he's giving an uppercut and he gets caught with a body shot, I don't know if he's going to be able to take those. Gypsy, are you going to be waiting for the? I normally, you already gave us your prediction, but normally you wait for the weigh-in to give us your prediction. You want to see those bodies. You want to see how ripped, bulked up, and tight they can get. So what changed here today?
The one that probably, does it for me right there. He is the one that looks at the bodies. I don't look at bodies, bro. You know what I do look at, though? I look at fucking... I look at fucking the face, like how they look at each other. If one is intimidated or not. That matters. It's a mental aspect, bro. Like that's like street shit. If you look at another man, he bows down. He's already mentally broken. Usually, not always the case. That sometimes people don't want no problem.
Hey Gypsy, did you see the press conference, and did you get anything out of that? Like, did anybody look scared?
Honestly, I was surprised that Canelo went that far back for one of those press conferences. I didn't know why he didn't like he came up to him. I know he was Crawford was bullshitting a little bit, but he came up to him and he went back so far after he went after. I don't know why.
What do you mean? Who went back?
He said Canelo went back. Remember when Crawford was
Canelo? He pressed his butt all over Canelo, and Canelo literally pushed him with a loose wrist. This guy almost fell on the floor. He almost fell on the floor.
Okay,
he fell into a crowd of people.
Too many steps back, though. That's what's the thing. Canelo,
he stood his ground. They pushed him back. They pushed him away.
This is not. We're talking about a wrestler here. Okay, he wrestles. So the difference is a little bit different because Jared Miller hold on to him and Jared Miller got pushed back a little bit.
He just wanted to feel some men up. That's all that was. He didn't win any of that. They're like, let go of my ass.
All right, look. before all this conversation about booty sweat and sweat coming off of gay ass shit, pretty much. You know what I mean? Off of some dudes. I was gonna mention that. What about Crawford? Spear jabs him to the fucking. He's got 4-inch reach advantage over him. He spears jabs and keeps him away to the stomach.
He many times he even with that reach he reaches in. That's one of the worst things you could do versus a guy at this level. I'd go look at Crawford's fight, really analyze the way he throws these punches. Many times he'll reach in so hard that he's actually out of position, and he won't even bring his hand right back up after he makes his mistakes or roll the next shot that comes in. He just stands tall. I think he's going to eat one of his right hands, and he's going to go spaghetti leg, and he's going to get finished real soon after that. That's what I think you might see. Either that, but I think he might keep his hands at home and just become Charlo.
Do you see him smiling after he gets hurt? Do you see him smiling or no smile?
Yeah, he's gonna smile and wink, right? You're gonna see a twinkle in his teeth.
Well, I gotta tell you guys,
he's got a gap.
He different.
Does right?
You guys both think
like Usyk does. Is there something to this? The gap tooth phenomenon?
It's a chosen one.
Oh yeah.
Bro, look, if I see any kind of weakness from Canelo on the weigh-ins. On just the face off. No, I'm not talking about body, all that shit. No, on the ways. If I see any kind of weakness, any kind of backpedaling from Canelo, I'm picking Crawford by decision. Probably even stoppage.
God. I mean, you're gonna see, Prize. You're gonna see a shredded, overdeveloped body from Crawford. Canelo's gonna look kind of smaller and lean. The next day he's gonna come in all inflated, and Crawford's gonna look stupid. He's gonna look kind of chubby. I bet. And Canelo's gonna be, 168.
You guys are talking about sweat. You're talking about men's chest. You're talking about chubs. I don't know where this is going. I don't know why you guys had to take it there. But be that as it may, we touched on a lot of stuff here. We barely scratched the surface.
About shrinkage and then inflation.
Yeah, well, that you brought up, not me. But anyway, listen, we just barely scratched the surface here about everything that could happen, everything that, all the possibilities. And we didn't even get to talk about Inoue versus MJ, the forgotten fight. It's the overlooked one. It's being, it's outshined by Canelo Crawford, but look, it's still a fantastic fight. Canelo, but what was I going to say? Are you guys interested in anything of what's going to happen with the? Hold on, let me check it out here. Actually, I was going to ask you a question 20 minutes ago, and I forgot because you guys were going at it. But the official schedule here is that there's going to be a grand arrival tomorrow, and then there's going to be the.
Nice.
Yeah, there's going to be the public workouts, which I always make fun of because nothing happens there either. Then the final press conference on Thursday, September 11th, by the way. And then we've got, that's what it says. Look, it says, I'm putting it up on the screen. It's Tuesday, September the 9th is the grand arrival. Wednesday is the workouts. Thursday, September 11th is going to be the press conference, the final press conference. Friday, the weigh-in. And then on Saturday, the big moment. By the way, there's going to be fights on Wednesday.
Okay, well, that good shit.
Was that recognized?
I don't care about all that gay stuff leading into the fight. Sorry.
It's good to speculate on it. It's yeah.
Hey, Bucho, I think you're muted, man.
It's content, bro.
The demeanor.
Yeah, people are going to be analyzing that.
People are going to be analyzing to see Crawford and Bomac again.
Analyzing.
No, recognize. Come on, man. What the? You jump in late and then you start making. See, I just rebuked people for going that way. Crooked, as like they say. That's all right. That's all right. I was going to ask you this then. Because I am curious to get your thoughts on the psychology behind this fight. Robert Garcia and Roy Jones were two guys who were picking Crawford. Roy Jones.
Robert Garcia and Roy Jones are picking Crawford. Okay.
Well,
I wanted to get that right.
Hold on. Yeah, and then, because they changed it up a little bit, recognize. Roy Jones then said, he's the one that initially said, Canelo's got 1 way to win, Crawford's got 6 ways to win, so I'm going with the guy who's got 6. Now, recently, Roy Jones changed his opinion and said, well, I'm looking at it differently now since Canelo started sparring Boots because I see that he's taking it seriously now. And then Robert Garcia said something similar. So why do you guys think this sparring session between Canelo and Boots has managed to change people's minds from Crawford is this genius with a super high IQ in terms of boxing to, whoa, Canelo sparring Boots, I got to change my mind now.
So you heard this rumor that Boots was beating him up, right?
Yes.
You heard it, right?
Sure.
Now, if I'm Canelo, I hope it's true. I want that to be true. I want that out there because when you're sparring, is to work out the mistakes that you're making, not what you already know how to do. So that tells me Boots is a good sparring partner. He's there to do exactly the job that he needs to do. He's here to tell Canelo, don't do that, do this. Basically through example. Like I'm catching you with these shots from the left hand side, whatever the case may be, right?
Mhm.
Now it could be true. It could be true that these guys are changing their minds because he's sparring Boots, and he's starting to correct the mistakes that Boots is mimicking or trying to his best to mimic Crawford, and was having success. So that's another thing too. Another explanation could be is that the fight's getting closer. And what happens when you're going to fight somebody? You make a prediction with your big mouth, and then the next thing you know, it's like fighting. It's basically like fighting, right? It's like, okay, now you're actually going to go in there and fight the guy, and now you're kind of questioning yourself. You know what I'm saying? Which it's normal, but I think they know what's up. I think that they understand that more than likely the person that's going to win is Canelo.
Oh,
yeah, it gets funnier when it gets closer to the fight because I see guys flip flopping right now. They're saying things about the fight's going to be fixed and all that because for months they've been saying that this guy's gonna that Canelo's going to get crushed.
And here's another thing. Real quick. That I'm at least for right now. I'm gonna keep it as a thought after the fight, especially if it plays out the way I think it's gonna play out. Turkey gets on his little social media, and he's like, I spoke to Bud. I speak with him, and now he's changing mind. He maybe have like 2 or 3 more fights. Actually, both of them.
Did you guys analyze what Turkey said to Crawford when he was doing the cardio?
No.
He said, "Don't retire." That's what he told him.
Well,
he said, "Don't retire."
That's my point. That's my
He said, you know what he means by that, right? I bet you, because there's a language barrier there. I think he means like don't quit.
Right.
Don't retire.
My point is that the fight is gonna look. It's in Vegas, right? It's gonna be in where the Raiders. Is it going to be where the Raiders play?
Yeah.
Okay. So we know boxing politics. We know how it works. We know that Turkey Al-Sheikh has a lot of money, a lot of influence, but so does the Canelo side. Vegas is close to Mexico, and there's some big Mexican players that are on Canelo's side too. And then they're probably like, hey, at the end of the day, let's just let the best man win. Let's make a lot of money. That's that.
Yeah. But the Roy Jones thing, I think, is also they need us to beat us kind of narrative, right? So it's a built-in excuse. So when Canelo wins, they could just say, "Oh well, it's because he's sparring with Boots," right? And then puts it back in that wheelhouse because he's kind of racist. Roy Jones.
But why speaking about why was Timothy Bradley freaking out and other people actually about the Boots and his sparring?
Because they're retarded.
Because he switches and that they think that resembles exactly what Crawford does. But I think Crawford actually likes the fact they interviewed him. He actually likes the fact that he picked him because that way there'd be no excuses. That's his fucking words. That's word for word. No excuses. Go ahead, have him. There's nothing wrong. But the black community, they look at it like, why is this guy doing this? He's the one who called Canelo. It's not like Canelo called him to come to his camp. He's pretty much hating on Crawford and all this kind of. That's how they're looking at it. And I don't blame him because why would you call Canelo? It's not like Virgil Ortiz is calling up Crawford and saying, "Oh, you know what? I'm going to help you in your camp, bro."
But when it comes to Timothy Bradley was very confident in his prediction for a long time. He would say Crawford's going to whoop him and all that. All of a sudden, Bootseni starts sparring with Canelo, and he starts freaking out. Give us the blueprint, or what was it? Tell us
the report.
You got to keep in mind that Boots Ennis was getting ready to fight Terrence Crawford, so they were studying him. That's probably why, and he knows what a lot of his tendencies and so on. So I mean, he is a good pick in that way.
Well, you know
Remember,
what?
this
though?
guy
Hold on,
actually
but-
avoided boots. He
But
avoided
why
it.
does Gypsy? I don't understand why Gypsy had to make it racial. He always goes to the racial thing. You know,
always
we try
does,
to
right?
move on.
He's racist.
Gypsy, yeah, I don't know. But I wanted to say this though. Speaking of the sparring thing, I don't know how many of you caught it. There was the Netflix countdown show, and I think there's going to be a third episode if they hadn't dropped it already. But Netflix did
Does it suck?
it sucked. Okay, well, yeah, the first two weren't all that good. Either.
Does it suck?
Yeah, I did.
I don't know, I didn't
I mean,
see it.
in my opinion, I had to fast forward. You see Crawford eating dinner, barbecuing with his team. Then you see Canelo riding around in some car outside in
Oh
the
my
desert.
God.
It's boring.
How
It's
many
boring.
dinners did Bomac eat?
How boring.
No, but hold on. Before I forget.
for dinner.
Okay, come on. But okay, what is that laugh, man? But what I was gonna say was the only interesting part was Canelo sparring against Hernandez, the Cuban guy that just recently beat up Kyron Davis. That dude is about 6 feet tall. He's a middleweight technically, but he's taller than Canelo, and he's a come forward guy. He doesn't really fight anything like Crawford. So I said, why are they sparring a guy who's actually resembles Canelo more? And I said, it's probably because they're expecting Crawford to try to throw a monkey in the wrench and try to switch plans up and actually do the unexpected and back him up. But the interesting thing about it was kind of hard to watch it because it was just 2-second snippets. It was every 2 seconds there was a cut and it was during the punches, so you didn't really see more than that. But one thing that I did see was Canelo was spending a lot of time covering up. He was blocking virtually everything the other guy was throwing. So if Crawford is gonna try to back this dude up and try to land to the body and all that, he's gonna have to watch out because he's gonna at some point it's easy to get frustrated when you can't hit a guy who's got a good guard, and then once you're getting
that's the thing
frustrated,
they don't
he'll catch you
factor
in
in.
between. Was that?
That's one thing they don't factor in, these guys, that this guy has better defense than any guy that Crawford's ever fought in his whole career. Not only is he bigger, but that's just one of the things that Canelo has over him. He has over any opponent he's ever had. The guy's got great defense. You know, he can make Crawford miss all day long. You know, catch up with the elbow, catch the body shots, slip everything he throws pretty much, block almost everything. That's why I said when he comes forward, he might actually get this guy basically ready to give up. He's not really going to be landing much of anything.
Yeah, it seems like Canelo has been reduced to just a flat-footed, strong guy that comes forward and swings. That's what he's been reduced
part of the
to.
hopium. That's the hopium. They want him to be that. That's a part of that shit. They have to make it into that in order to have hope that Crawford could win this. They've just framed the whole thing through their imagination. It's not what we're actually seeing, you know?
Yeah.
They're not making an actual prediction. It's all bullshit.
If Crawford goes down like a knockdown, is it over? Like, can he recover from that and go to rounds?
I think psychologically that's going to be that's going to wear on him big time if he gets knocked down. He's like, damn, there's a lot of things happening right now that never happened before. I'm going to get knocked out.
Right.
Assuming he gets knocked down and he's not hurt, because there's a difference when you get knocked down, you're not hurt. You're like, oh shit, I could come back from this off. And this guy's such a good boxer. Now I'm behind the 8 ball. I got to be careful he doesn't knock me out. Me trying to get my get back, right, or force it.
Oh, he definitely want to try to
get hurt.
That's Crawford though. He likes his get back as going. He gets hurt. He gets into that.
Yeah, ain't gonna work versus this guy.
Nope.
If he gets hurt and dropped, that's gonna be a different ball game, because then it's gonna be like, wait a second, has he ever been? We've seen Crawford. I think he's got knocked down. Yeah,
He wasn't the fish against Kavaliuskas, but he wasn't.
Earlier in his career, he got knocked down too. I mean,
I think he's never been knocked down in his career. I think that's
no, he's been knocked down. No, Crawford's been knocked down. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I'm pretty sure he did. Well, anyway, my point is, even if he didn't or did, it was probably really early in his career. But there's a big difference of getting hurt when you get knocked down, and there's another one when you're like, a guy clips you and he's outboxing you. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're like, damn, this guy, either I'm gonna get my get back or he's too good of a boxer, because that's how I ended up in my ass. So it could play in many different ways.
That's what happened to Berlanga. He was trying to box with him. He was trying to catch the shot. Boom, he just caught him. He baited him into that left hook. That's that's how fast it was. When this guy's on point, that's the kind of shit he does. Like Crawford, man, if he baits that guy's right hand and lands that left, man, it might be over right there.
When Berlanga got dropped by Canelo in that fight, that was because he got outboxed, right? So you can see that he's on the floor. He's like, shit.
What Canelo did is he threw a little jab, like a little jab. Berlanga was catching it. He was parrying it. And then the next one, Canelo threw like a feint, and then boom, he threw the left hook. And Berlanga went to swoop down a jab, but it wasn't a jab anymore. It was a left hook.
He outboxed him.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Well, listen, we've said it all.
He was training him.
We've said it all.
That's the IQ right there.
We've said it all, and I don't think, like I said, I don't think we've said everything that we could. So the schedule so far, for the moment, is... First of all, subscribe and hit the notification button to keep up to date with the fact or whether we're going to actually do a show or not, or when we're going to do it. The tentative schedule right now for BDA Boxing is tomorrow, another call-in show, although it's only going to be calls, so because we didn't get a chance to finish with everything we had to today. Then on Wednesday, we're going to be doing the always controversial comparative analysis show where we decide who's got the better stamina, better hand speed, better foot movement, power, all that. And it always gets controversial because nobody can ever get it agree on it fully in the chat. So we're gonna watch out for that. And then Friday, a open lines show where everybody can jump on, and we'll see how crazy that gets. And then of course we got Saturday, the big fight. We'll see what happens there. For the moment, I want to thank Bucho, I want to thank Gonzalo, Gypsy Boxing, Recognize the Matrix, and The Real Food TV. Shout out to all of you guys for joining us. Really appreciate it. Don't forget to check out The Real Food TV. Food Sports Live.
Oh, thanks a lot.
Yeah, sure, of
it's
course.
Pretty good. It's pretty good.
Gypsy too. Gypsy, what's your channel? I haven't been there in a while.
It's just my channel's name. That's it. Gypsy Boxing Style. That's it, man.
All right,
I have
Gypsy.
no other Gypsy King Boxing Style. That's what it is. I'm the king over there.
All right, Gypsy Boxing Style. That's his channel. So again, I want to give a shout out to everybody in the panel who joined us. Everybody who called in. You guys are the best. And of course, everybody who donated the super chat as well. Really appreciate it, guys. You always help us out with the show and contribute. So it keeps the gravy train rolling, and we can keep paying for the phone calls because not for nothing, but this phone system can get expensive at the end of the month when you're taking phone calls. So we always appreciate your contributions. Don't forget to check. Yes.
If you're on the East Coast, what time is it right now?
It's 9:11. Oh shit, 9:11 p.m.
What the F?
That's right.
Nah, come on, you're freaking me out, man. Come on, man, you're freaking me out. Stop it.
Crawford's gonna go down in a. I'm not gonna say that.
Hey, Recognize. How did you know my clock? Because there's sometimes there's a 30-second difference or even a 1 minute. How did you know we were gonna be on the same number?
I don't know because I heard you say that you're from the true north, right? And I'm assuming when you say that you're from the northeast,
right?
So
no, but I mean, yeah, 9/11. I mean, it's coming up. 3 days. Jeez, Luis.
Yep.
Should we do
3 days.
Yeah.
A second run?
What do you think? We should do
I'm down for it.
I mean, you know what? There's one story that I hadn't heard about. I read about it 2 years ago, and I never heard of it. In the close to 20 years of this whole thing, I never heard of it. It's a dude who used to be in the special forces, and he actually ended up being on one of the planes. And there's a whole fucking, like you said, a plethora of coincidences that you look at and you go, okay, what is this? I actually don't even know if it's real anymore. It might be a made-up
Did you ever hear the phone call from one of the supposed passengers and it sounded like a damn robot?
Yeah.
It was like, honey, I am, like it sounded like that. It's really
it was like
freaking
one of the,
weird, man.
It was like one
I'm
of the Daleks.
okay.
Honey.
That's that early automation.
I see.
I am not in a government facility.
Does not compute.
Honey, hold on. I am getting killed.
I am a robot. I am not a robot. Kill.
These dirty Muslims are stabbing us. No, I'm kidding. That's not what the computer said.
Exactly. That would be a good one, right?
No.
Like
we
what?
do not work for Israel.
Come on. No, wait. You're going to get it shut down, man. What the fuck? All right.
I would never work for those people. I am anti. So I'm not going to say it.
You cannot tell the truth because everything you say is a lie, but you lie.
That's true.
You tell the truth, but you...
No, I tell the truth. That's the problem.
No, that's the machine. That's the phone call.
You know what's funny? What I found today? I actually found the guy, a channel. This guy's got over 14,000 subscribers. Every video he makes is literally him begging for money. He's like, my Cash App. And I'm like, how the fuck does this guy have more subscribers than me? What the fuck?
Yo,
and
when
the
you
platform's pushing him. I looked at his viewership. He has over 22 million views.
What?
And he's literally begging for Cash Apps the entire time.
when you do that, when you do those doom scrolling episodes, I can't believe some of the people you find. I've tried to. I used to. That's where I found by chance. I found the what do they call it? The wind. Fuck. What do they call it? It's based on an anime too. The people that they think they can control the wind.
Spirited Away.
No. There's a subset of people out there in the internet that they believe they can control the wind. They're called the
Airbender.
Airbenders. Yes, they think they can control the wind.
Avatar.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, these people actually think they can control the wind, and they do videos like they just stand around, and I bet you they stand around for 3 hours until a gush of wind comes on, and then they start doing these kung fu moves. It's like, oh, you see, I'm directing the wind. I go, what the fuck? So that's the type of shit I try to find, but I don't always do it. I don't know how you do it because you found that a fat transvestite who kept asking, I don't know what he was talking about, that the Earth is a cube or a trapeze.
He said that LeBron James was made by the CIA. It's like,
I can believe that. I can believe that, though. I can believe that. But
I mean, it could.
The Earth is a cube, and then he's burping in between, like just casually burping into the mic. He's like, "What the?" Fuck?
Oh yeah. It was like brother, can you be any more sexy? I'm doing a Foo Sports tomorrow, and I'm gonna show that video with the guy, the one I'm talking about,
the fat guy.
He's like, "Come on, give me money. I'm starving." I'm starving. At one point, he said, "My mama ain't here." What'd you say?
If you guys don't hit me with a super chat or donate to my Cash App, I'm gonna end this stream.
I'm gonna end my life if you don't give me a super chat.
Recognize the guys at the Airbenders. What they say is, if you don't shoot me a super chat, I'm gonna create a typhoon. I'm gonna destroy your whole village. That's what he says. This
one's funny because the guy's sitting on a porch and he's just crying to all these people, saying it's some sob story and all that shit. And then it looks like some person steps out of their house and he runs like right off camera because he's filming this on his cell phone. And then he comes back like 10 minutes later and he's like, yeah, I just asked some lady if she can give me some money to throw out her garbage. He says she offered him $2, so he said, fuck no. It's like, bro, then you ain't broke then. He's like, I'm starving. The whole time he said starving. He's like, I'm 16, and later he says he's 18. It's ridiculous. But that platform pushed him, man. This guy had one video was an hour. It was like it had just been posted, right? Alive. Mm-hmm. It already had 8,000 views within like an hour.
You should start doing that, man. You should start begging for
super. Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm thinking of doing.
Maybe the algorithm's gonna push you. You never know. Maybe that's what YouTube goes
What's up, guys? The Homeless Sports Live. Buddy, I got cash ag here. I'm hungry.
Hey, you know what? You put some fake sound effects in the background, like you're in the streets or something. There's people fighting behind you. Give me my money. Yeah, exactly. Hey, put it. You get the green screen. Put a green screen like you're out. Make it seem like you're outside.
Yeah. Outside. Yo, motherfucker, what's going on? Guys, look, I'm in the street.
There you go.
Fucked up on here. Nope.
That's the Food TV voice right there. All right, well, listen, fellas. Hope you enjoyed the show.
That's what I sound like.
We gotta go. We've been off here for 3.5 hours. No, 3:41. Jeez, Luis. Listen, when you get a fight of this magnitude, they don't come along every other year. They come along every other 5 years. So that's why we're gonna try to do as many shows as possible, and we'll see what happens. All right, fellas. Again, I want to thank everybody.
Knocks him out the first punch of the fight.
Nah, come on. Stop. You're going too far now. But shout out to the Real Food TV, Recognize, Gypsy, Boxy Style Guns, Bucho. Was there anybody else? Yeah, Sobers was here for a while. Check out the taqueria. They're still going. They've been going for 5 days.
Oh, yeah, they are.
I think
Sobers had like a 5-day stream.
You know what? I'm actually worried about him now. I'm actually worried about him because that's how Rapid ended up supposedly dying. I hope he's still alive, but that's how he perished.
Yeah, but he's just putting it on there. He's not managing it all the time. It's just kind of running.
Well, he was here earlier and he sounded really beaten up. He sounded like, yeah, I think he liked the usual Never Sobers energy. He was like,
oh yeah, maybe he shouldn't be in there too late. I see it's just running all day. I'm like, what the hell? Should I do a radio thing?
I don't know, man. I
would be awake the whole time. I have certain ideas about that. I can sort of do it in my way.
You don't got shit.
I got ideas, man. I got lots.
By the way, I was laughing my ass off when Slugger for some reason was trying to target you that you're not actually New Yorker.
Oh yeah.
And you're like
ridiculous.
You're like it's true. He tries to sound like Tony from the hood, like from the corner, like you said. Tony from the corner.
Yeah. He sounds like he's trying to act like he's from Bay Ridge or something. I'm like,
yeah, he's Canadian.
Listen, I know what the fuck, Slugger. That guy's not actually from Canada.
The Canadians, the Italian Canadians, they don't sound like the Italians from New York and all that.
I thought he was like Arabic or something, right?
But what I'm saying is, if he were actually Italian, he would not sound like an Italian from Brooklyn. That's a Brooklyn thing. That's even Cleveland and shit like that. Here they sound completely different. They sound like Canadians. Hey, I tell you this, eh? That's how they sound like.
A boot.
Yeah, boot. Yeah, they don't say, yo, oh, it's Tony. Oh,
Yo,
what's
up,
going
yo,
on?
you ain't from Brooklyn. You fake Brooklyn. It's like,
Where's
hey,
that
why
guy
are you
Bagu?
concerned? Yeah, he did. One time I went on, I think it was at, I forget what show. It was it was a live panel, and he was in there, and him and some other guy was even more retarded. And he kept going on about, like, you're not from New York. It's like, first of all, I am. And second, like, why the fuck do you even care? Like, it doesn't make any sense to me. Like, he says he's from California. I take his word. I'm like, I don't give a shit. You know? I just don't understand it. And that's not the first time that guy's done that. But I came into the Discord, and that was the first thing I heard. I'm like, what the fuck? Like, what's going on here?
Slugger Sam
Brooklyn.
He's a stickler for the truth. He's a stickler for the truth. He wants that truth. If he finds,
And
if he even smells or catches a
stuff up.
waft of a lie, he tries to get to the bottom of it. Just, don't take it personal. But
No, he's creating lies. That's what
You
he's
should
doing.
end the
Fuck,
show, man.
piece
What
of
the
shit.
fuck?
yeah, we're gonna end the show. But
getting deep.
like I said, shout out to all of you guys in the panel. Shout out to everybody who donated via the super chat, and of course, shout out to everybody who joined us in the chat. All of our listeners and everybody who called in. Shout out to you fellas. Shout out to Chet Collins. Shout out to Baron Evola, Casamigos Kyle, JumpTube, Troll, Dojo, Bacon and Eggs, JumpTube, King 8 Lopez, Champion Killa, Double L. That's LL. Hold on a second. Who else was here? Trying to scroll up here. Like I said, Champion Killa, King Lopez, Dojo, JumpTube, Straight Right Hand, Musical Expressions, Champion. Well, listen, we're going to be doing another show tomorrow, right? Another calling show. That's the likelihood. And if not, we're going to do a comparative analysis show. So we're still going to get your predictions. And of course, Friday, the big open line show. That's an open panel. You guys get to jump in. So check out the descriptions for that. Check out the notifications. Check out some of the videos we've done lately, the documentary for this fight, and some of our other videos. Check out free videos on Patreon, more incoming. And we'll catch you in the next one. Fellas, take it easy. Thanks for watching. Woohoo.
Smooth outro, man. That was good.